Hello. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Oh, hello, friends. Welcome to the Autobot Decepticons. Hello, friends. Hello, friends.
It's Ryan here. Did you like that? Did you like the Frogman intro? What?
Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's Ryan. Hello, friends. Hello, friends.
Whoa, oh, God. Oh, man, I annoyed myself. Welcome to part 2 of the APDC MTMTP TFTM re-review. Last time on the Autobot Decepticast, we talked with our friends Kit and Harper from the More Than Meets the Pod podcast after they watched the 1986 animated classic for the first time. When we last left our heroes, surrogate daddy Optimus Prime had just become one with the Matrix, and here we tune back in with Astro Train hauling the defeated Decepticons back to Cybertron. So, pucker up, Buttercup. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
We transition to Astro Train and the crew of busted-ass Decepticons, which all fit inside him, and it weighs too damn much. We're going to have to dump some of the dog do, or we're never going to get to Cybertron. So there's a Lord of the Flies style situation where the more, I guess, robust Decepticons chuck their injured friends out the door and just leave them for dead. And this includes Megatron, who Starscream personally and gleefully tosses from Astro Train.
Very interested that Soundwave just lets that happen.
Yeah.
Wild to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very, he sees which way the wind's blowing, I think, and just rolls with it.
But that schmirk from Starscream, so good.
I like how they took into consideration Megatron kind of getting
Swept under the wing.
swept under the wing.
How funny would it have been if they would have animated him just bonking his face
Bonk
into
off.
the wing? Bonk.
He gets sucked into like a jet engine.
It is pretty messed up whenever they're kicking the other Decepticons off Astro Train. You can hear for a second there's one line that says, "Brothers don't." And it's fucked up.
No.
When we watched this the first time and he just booted like Skywarp and Thundercracker out, I was distraught.
That's what I had too. I wrote that too. I'm like, they're pretty laissez-faire about dumping the original Seekers. Like, he does not give a shit.
I don't think
Just boot him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throughout the series, he doesn't seem to have that much attachment to them, really.
I guess not.
And I feel like you hear them talk shit about him, too. So,
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
just because you've got a cone chest and wings doesn't, I guess, keep you completely
Does not a brother
aligned.
make.
That's right. Now I guess it gets really Lord of the Flies because it's time to find a new leader, and the names on the ballots, along with their key selling points, are Constructicons because Devastator, Soundwave because Superior, and Starscream because Starscream.
I mean, compelling points from all of them.
Yeah.
Indeed.
We get a little fun thing from Rumble and Frenzy.
Though, who you calling
Nobody calls
uncrasmatic?
Soundwave uncrasmatic.
And where's Ratbat?
Did Soundwave let them out, or did they all bust out? Like, just
Good
like
call.
Ratbat doesn't give a shit.
So they don't use an anonymous ballot like the civilized people do. The Decepticons just have a Donnybrook inside of Astro Train
Astro
as he
Train.
slowly skims through space.
Can we talk about the pregnant Chads on the ballot? I did just listen to a whole podcast episode about the 2000 election. So
Oh, yeah.
It was great.
It was good stuff.
It was great to live through that as an adult.
This just
oh
shows,
yeah, I mean, I was 6. I remember voting in a fake ballot.
Oh, well done.
it just shows that the Supreme Court can fuck you even when they have more liberal, quote unquote, justices
Speaking
on the
of Grover
panel.
Cleveland, he actually won the middle term for popular vote, but
By pregnant Chads?
Yeah, but they decided to go with the other opponent, and he did not contest it.
Rip.
Because of Electoral College.
He was too busy.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's okay. I'm going to go hang some.
Too busy killing people? Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, it was.
I gotta go kill
That was
him.
actually his most prolific 4 years.
Meanwhile, the dented hunks of scrap thrown from Astrotrain are floating aimlessly through the cosmos. Megatron and the others ultimately find their way towards the mass of orange pointiness that is Unicron. So
Unicron really is a DIY queen. Like, this junk can be made into something new.
He's all in the
Laugh
upcycling.
Galvatron.
Oh, I would love to see Unicron's YouTube.
It's just full on like sped up 5-minute craft style.
It's all that garbage where it's like you can make new carrots out of out of kitchen scraps. I'm like, that does not work.
It's just Galvatron is just Megatron covered in hot glue.
Maybe some sequins.
Cutting to the chase, this is where we first learn that this thing is called Unicron, and he wants that matrix destroyed because it's the only thing that can stop him. And in exchange for help with this task, he is going to give Megatron a new body, new troops to command, or upcycled is more accurate.
And
There's a bit of negotiation. Magic space particles emit from Unicron, and he reformats Megatron into Galvatron.
It's a cool sequence.
It's
Totally.
good.
yeah, it's great.
I like
I
it.
love it.
I hate that we get to see Megatron's like whole inside works.
Oh, really? I love
That's
that
a
part.
little-
You don't like that?
His gummy works.
I can see his mouthy mouth gummy works. Oh.
I like it. I mean, it's just like, oh yeah, I've never really seen I don't know, I've just never seen anything like that before. Like, oh yeah, they're like, components and etc. I like this scene inside Unicron. There's some weird shit going on here.
I like that. I think it's mostly that the moment that Megatron gets scanned in, he looks so much like Darth Vader that it throws me
true.
off.
Yeah.
Also, the voice work from everyone in this scene is so good.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, the voice work of this entire movie, there's no real bummer takes.
I wonder, I'm guessing Welker and Wells were not in the same room when they recorded, but
I think
it's
Orson
patched
Welles
together
only
really well.
I think he did it in one day. Like, it was just one day. And it had to be
Oh, of course he
heavily,
did.
like, altered because he was very sick. Like, he died literally 10 days after recording this.
Oh my god.
You didn't know that? Orson
I
Welles.
knew it was close. I
Yeah.
didn't know it was literally 10 days.
He recorded only one other thing between here and his death, and it was something for moonlighting. Is that right? Am I right or wrong about that?
He did do a thing for Moonlighting. I think that was
Yeah.
way before,
Oh,
though.
so this
I don't
might have.
remember.
I think this is the last thing he did.
last thing he ever did. Okay,
That's
cool.
you.
Oh, there you go.
It'd be funny if there was like a vectorized penis right here.
It's just pixeled out. Megatron's like, no, bigger.
We got started with that statue dong earlier, and I never got over it.
Cool.
The Cardiff Galvatron.
Looks pretty badass.
This is the part where, for some reason, people are upset that Bombshell becomes Cyclonus.
Yeah. We've determined
is that who?
Thundercracker definitely becomes Scourge.
Yeah.
And Shrapnel and Kickback, or at least clones of them, become Sweeps.
And then isn't it? It's Skywarp and
It's Skywarp and Bombshell. Bombshell's in the foreground,
Right.
which, to my mind, says that he's Cyclonus.
Right. Because that's who's being introduced.
Oh, yeah, no, there he is right there.
Yeah.
And then his armada.
But everybody wants it to be Skywarp, which thematically makes a lot more sense. But
But it is what it is. Hey, Bombshell it is.
Purple. They're both purple.
a lot of purple in the new Decepticons.
It's a good color swerve.
Agree.
In addition to reformatting everybody, Unicron also hooks the crew up with a brand new whip as well. And
Badass.
Galvatron and his band of merry mercenaries are off to kill Ultra Magnus and destroy the Matrix. But first, you got to prioritize. We're headed to Cybertron. We got some unfinished business to take care of.
honestly, if not for the long distance mind control, Unicron, great sugar daddy.
Hell yeah.
It's
I
true.
agree.
Got a fresh new ride.
Also,
Revenge.
Kid pointed out that Galvatron's like the reformatted fusion cannon looks like a Nerf gun, and I can't unsee it.
Wow. Just that's the sound of the balls shooting out of his cannon. Sorry. And
That's the sound of Starscream's departure.
if Unicron's a sugar daddy, I want to see Galvatron's Instagram page and all of his like sexy poses. He's an influencer. All right, we're on
That's got to be a
Cybertron.
crazy Amazon wish list he's got.
So there it is. There's why is Thundercracker there? He's dead.
Yeah.
We find out that so we're on Cybertron. It's Starscream's coronation. Apparently, he won the battle on Astrotrain.
He's had some upgrades, I guess.
Yeah, I was wondering as watching this if a different animation studio handled this scene, because it is the designs are way off and more anime-esque to me than for all of them, not just especially Starscream, but not just Starscream.
His wrists are so much bigger compared to his hands.
Also, I want to know who taught the Constructicons to play the musical instrument.
Yeah.
What time did they do that?
You should. They've got an
It's
album
a long
out.
ride back to Cybertron.
The Constructicon 6. They're quite a combo. Have you ever played in a jazz sextet?
No, I haven't. No.
Caleb used to do jazz.
I've played a little jazz. I'm not very
What do you
good
play?
at it. I play piano.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I had a show last night. I played a Prince tribute concert, so lots of purple going on there too. I think
Even the rain.
that's right.
It always made me weird.
Distraught. Oh,
That was our big chance. The
That's
record
the dumbest
company's
little
here.
crown.
Oh, look at him. What a little bastard.
We've got Galvatron and company. They show up to the coronation. Starscream recognizes something familiar about these antagonists. Is that Megatron? Well, here's a hint. Galvatron goes cannon mode and one-shots Starscream to ashes. It turns out it wasn't a Nerf gun. It actually is like high-quality laser
It's
fire.
a super soaker.
and this is a pretty visceral death as well, as Starscream just turns to ashes and falls to the ground in a heap.
That's okay. We'll see that bitch again.
Beast Wars!
Beast Wars.
Galvatron firmly takes control of Decepticon leadership.
A quick aside: Starscream does come back in season 3
it's true.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where he becomes a ghost.
as a ghost.
Yeah, he's in 2 or 3 episodes.
Legit ghost.
I think
It
he's
is-
in 2 episodes.
It's pretty fun.
So excited for that.
He possesses Scourge for a while.
That's right.
So it's a running thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Unicron sweeps across our screen towards Moonbase 1. I guess, yeah, it makes sense that he'd be in Cybertronian airspace at this time. He sinks his pinchers into the moon. Jazz contacts Earth. What the hell is going on here? Jazz transmits through Blaster as the Earth Autobots are trying to rebuild. Moonbase 1 is under attack by a planet-eating planet. Jazz and Cliffy try to get off. They take off in an Autobot frigate to try to make their escape, but they fail. And as they escape the moon's atmosphere, their engine stalls and they are sucked into Unicron.
R.I.P.
See you later. I mean, this is all your fault, Jazz, so
Oh my god.
I don't care.
I don't care.
It's just, a replay of that opening scene of them
No
trying
kidding.
to fly away and then getting sucked back in. And oh no! Spike!
Yeah, Spike
Oh,
and
man,
Bumblebee.
Spike's about to swear.
Yeah, for Moonbase
Highlight
2.
of the movie.
Did we had a whole thing where Bumblebee called into one of our episodes and he doesn't really it felt like he didn't like Spike that much, hanging out with him on the Moonbase.
That was a holiday special where he called in from Moonbase 2.
Yeah, they're still up there.
He was going through it.
Spike and Bumblebee contact Autobot City from Moonbase 2. The monster planet is headed their way. They're going to try and slow it down by turning their moon into a giant bomb. They set the timer. They take off in their ship. They seem to make it a pretty safe distance from the planet when, boom, explosion, the bomb goes off. But when the smoke clears, Unicron is completely intact.
They don't really cheat this countdown, too. If you time it, it is almost exactly 20 seconds.
Nice. I love that in movies. That's why I like Saw so much. There's a lot of scenes where they don't cut away and it is just a full 1 minute or 45 seconds or however long they have to maim themselves.
This is where we get the first curse word of the movie, which is shit, where Spike says
It's
shit.
beautiful.
That was not in the home movie version. That was only in the theatrical version, and they did that because they wanted a PG rating. They didn't want a G rating because G movies didn't get shown as much as PG movies. They were shown basically in the middle of the day, and so they wanted them to be shown more. That didn't work out.
It didn't
this
help
movie
them
flopped.
fiscally.
That's fascinating, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Unicron completely intact, and I don't know if it was a tractor beam or they just got caught up in the gravity or sucking. But Bumblebee and Spike are pulled into Unicron as well. So bye, guys. You're dead.
Sorry, Daniel.
I 100% believe that Spike was dead at this point in the movie on my
Oh,
first
really?
watch, too.
Oh.
They
Yeah, no,
gotcha.
I assumed everybody that went into Unicron died pretty much immediately.
At this point, anything's up for grabs after what's
Yeah.
already happened for sure.
Well, how did that make you feel to think that Spike and Bumblebee were dead?
I was mostly sad for Daniel for losing 2 father figures in one day.
Yeah. Daniel's really going through it.
Yeah.
Galvatron sees all of this go down from his throne on Cybertron, and he's got a problem with it. Cybertronian moon munching wasn't part of the deal. Those are his moons to munch. But Unicron has a kind of psychic torture mechanism that's implanted into Galvatron's body. He releases a high-pitched searing pain that basically pounds Galvatron into submission.
Body horror, man.
Yeah, is this, would you call this Cronenberg-ian?
I literally went to see Crimes of the Future last week.
How is it?
I
Oh.
want to watch it again with subtitles. I think that'll help me. I think it's a good spiritual successor to the last movie that I saw in theaters before the pandemic, which was Midsummer.
Oh, God.
Wow.
I liked Crimes of the Future. I don't know if I needed to see Viggo Mortensen and Kristen Stewart make out.
Nobody needs
was
to make
definitely
out with
interesting.
Kristen Stewart.
How dare
It's okay.
Is that a controversial take?
She's all right.
I think she's annoying. I don't think she's a good actor at all. But
Crimes of the Future, she is doing the most like weird little freak. Like that's her whole role. She's just there to be weird. And I think that's beautiful.
She's good at being weird.
Exactly.
She can do weird.
I do like to watch the first Twilight just to hate on it. It's so bad.
What a
in-
good use
in
of your
every
time.
single way. Those movies come on in my house. I can't stop it.
Have you ever seen the Kristen Stewart fake Totino commercials on Saturday Night Live?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have to check those out. She's weird on that too, and it's great.
Let's go back to Earth. Enough of this Kristen Stewart banter.
Sorry.
Yeah, stop hating on Kristen Stewart. Let's get back to the podcast.
Ultra Magnus gives his first big presidential motivational speech. The moons are gone. This big bronze buffet muncher is a bigger threat than all the Decepticons put together. Spike, Jazz, Cliffy, and Bee, they may be dead, but we've got to get up there and destroy that thing before it devours Cybertron. Hot Rod has a feeling that the Matrix can stop it, but there's no time to go into that because Galvatron's goon squad has shown up to crash this function. Magnus commands, get to the shuttles. I would say
Here's where we see Snarl for just a second. There he
Oh,
is.
dancing
no!
around the lasers.
Yep.
I do
There's
like
so
the
many
idea.
action sequences in this movie. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like you're at the point where you're just like, there's fighting happening.
There's a lot of action. Yeah, it's
There's
a lot
lasers.
going on. We get some fist shakes.
More
There's
fist
one.
shakes.
There's another one in a second.
I love the sweep heads coming out of the ship.
Oh my god.
I fucking hate it.
It's a weird decision. Like,
I think it's funny.
There's a couple shots in TFP of Megatron flying in jet mode, but with his face like peeking out. It's very good.
This is like here we actually do in just a second get a or an Autobot killing a Decepticon like Sludge and Grimlock actually kill one of the sweeps. That's I think the only Decepticon permanent death in this movie except for Starscream.
It's because the Dinobots are good at their jobs.
Yes.
This is the best Arcee Hot Rod banter in my opinion.
It is great.
Yeah. So Arcee saves Daniel.
You should stay closer to me. She's
Yeah.
like, you should stay closer to me.
meanwhile, Daniel's stuck in between all of this going
Yeah.
on. Like,
Yeah, that's emotionally traumatic right there to be
he's-
between them.
Daniel's.
mean-
it's a lot of trauma that Daniel's going through. He's having a rough day.
And we neglected to mention that he almost died just a second ago. Arcee
Oh, yeah.
saved
Yeah,
him
look at
from
that.
falling
That's
off
number
of a
4, right?
cliff.
Yeah.
And has anyone given him the nuts and the bolts talk?
No. I like to think none of the humans in this universe have any concept of like Transformers reproduction because it's just not happening anymore.
By 2005, perhaps we've just gotten rid of sex as a reproduction method. It's all done
Tubes?
scientifically. Yeah, tubes, exactly.
It's all cloning.
Poor Blur. He really got just like the job that can't be done.
Yeah. Herding cattle.
Get the Dinobots in the shuttle.
What was that?
I don't know.
Blur, he struggles to load the Dinobots into the ships. The sweeps and Cyclonus fire lasers all around them. Magnus commands Hot Rod and Cup to take over that job, while he, Blur, Springer, Perceptor, and Daniel head over to the other shuttle and take off. 2 ships launch, almost leaving Arcee behind, but they don't.
Get another wrist grab, right?
Yep. I mean, that's, I guess, a good one. Like, saves her.
The lasso.
Real weird choice.
Like, Cup could have just asked them. It's clear that they like Cup from the next scene.
Come in. You know what's in here? Stories.
I love this. I love
It's
this
so
part.
cute.
Get your noodle out of my face.
Yeah.
The Dinobots do just become kids
They
from
are.
this point on.
It is weird. Like, I remember them being very effective, which they are to an extent, but they're also ridiculous in every way.
You know, I was going to say they're, like 3 years old, but there's a time skip, so they're actually in
23.
their 20s.
Oh, God, they're college students.
Oh, they're frat boys.
Oh, the Dinobot frat.
Oh.
Delta Iota Nu Omicron.
There you go.
The Dino frat.
Oh, that's a t-shirt.
That is a t-shirt.
It's being Greek
That's
letters.
a Letterman jacket.
How did she get left out there? She was running with them.
I think in the script, like, she gets shot by Scourge and falls over.
Grab her wrist.
The upper body strength on this girl.
Yeah.
And she's safe. It's really, honestly, it's kind of a relief after seeing so many deaths.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, finally, someone.
Well, they can't kill the one woman in the movie. Literally the only woman in the movie. Man, I can't believe Transformers the movie in 1986 doesn't pass the Bechdel test.
Stop being hysterical.
Not being hysterical, I'm just a dyke.
Somehow or another, these 2 giant, slow-moving ships somehow lose the Decepticons. Just as we take a coffee break for some of them war stories and some Luke Skywalker training with Hot Rod,
Yep.
the Decepticons return, but this time with the revenge. And missiles are a-blasting everywhere.
First Cup's gotta tell his stories. So silly.
Oh, a stupid little lightsaber.
And a
Honestly,
shield.
he is a really good Luke Skywalker stand-in.
Yeah, totally.
I like how he has flames on the shield that match his chest piece.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's pure Hot Rod.
Accessorize.
That's the alt rod in him.
Oh,
I do
shit.
like all these missiles. There's a lot of missile work.
There's so many missiles.
I get when Unicron is your supplier, I think you can just use ammunition for days.
Yeah.
I wonder what those are recycled from.
Oh,
Oh no. Bombshell's weird little brain things.
Spike and Bumblebee.
His cerebro shells.
we did skip past it, but whenever Springer and them, like Springer, Arcee, and Daniel close the door to the shuttle, Springer says, believe it or not, this is the fun part. And I have never been able to understand what the shit that's supposed to mean.
I don't think Springer knows. Springer's also
Enter
having
tough
a bad
guy
day.
sounding slang here.
It's just such a weird line that doesn't, whatever. And here we invert polarities.
Yeah. So the revenge is focusing on Hot Rod and Cup's ship first. Missiles come. Yeah, there's the sci-fi reverse polarities trope, and it kind of works. They do dodge the missiles, but then they come back around and just hit them in the face. It causes them to lose control of the ship. Or actually, no, they gain control of the ship. I'm sorry, I screwed that
We
up.
survived
And then
that, but will we survive this? And that's where Cyclonus is deployed.
they release Cyclonus, and he just takes about 10 or 12 shots, disables the ship, and that's when they crash land on a mysterious psychedelic
We
planet.
get one of the best lines in the movie where Springer says, Cup and Hot Rod just bought it, and Ultra Magnus goes, I can't deal with that now. Which, Aaron, you said is not like he's asking you to deal with it. He's just giving you information.
He's telling you.
That crash from the
That's
inside of the
hard.
cockpit just looks amazing.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is good.
Please do not ask me to deal with that now. That would have been appropriate.
Springer don't ask me to perform emotional labor.
Can we pick up on this later?
Let's circle back.
The revenge.
Springer, an empath. I'm sensing Ultra Magnus can't deal with this right now.
The Revenge sets its sights on Magnus's ship. They execute a risky gambit. Let Galvatron think that they're dead by separating the front half of the ship from the back half, and then they'll destroy that back half of the ship. The Revenge missiles close in, boom, and Galvatron is satisfied that all on board are dead. However, Unicron kicks off a torture sesh, and that's a little confusing, but for our purposes right now, Magnus's team is safe. The plan worked, but the ship is too banged up to get to Cybertron. Maybe the planet of junk that is close by is a good place to rest and repair. Also, no one's crying for Hot Rod and Cup at this point in time. Like,
No, they can't deal with it. Not right now.
I mean, now they're chill and they're safe.
The music is telling us everything's okay.
They're really compartmentalizing hard.
There's a lot more of this in the script. They bring it back over and over again. I'm glad they pared it down for the movie, but this whole thing where Perceptor starts over explaining things and Ultra Magnus is like bored as shit.
That, literally tapping his.
Like this?
Yeah,
Good
they do
God.
that a lot more in the script. But also in the script, he's not just annoyed. He goes, "What?" like a lot. Like he can't understand what he's saying.
We transition to the weirdest
Hell yeah.
rock in all the galaxy, Quintessa. This place looks like Salvador Dali, Picasso, and Hunter S. Thompson ran a consensual train on the planet Neptune.
It reminds me a lot of the Atlantis episodes of G1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where's
I like
Nurgle?
those episodes. King Nurgle. Oh, wait. I was thinking not of that one. I was thinking of Sea
The
Spray's
Sea Spray one?
girlfriend. Yeah. Sea Spray turns into a human
He turns into
and
a
bangs a chick.
Well, that you're putting that part into it.
So did Sea
Good for
Spray.
him.
Happy for Sea Spray.
He
Gets his
becomes
Little
a
Mermaid
guy
moment.
and also a merman.
Yeah.
It's a weird episode, as you might imagine.
But he still has the gurgly voice.
yes.
But he does
Oh.
turn into a Ken doll, so I can
Hey,
see
he's
why
a handsome fellow.
they were down to clown with him. We're under the sea. There's no delightful steel drums or singing crabs down here. Everything has sharp, pointy parts and wants to murder you. Roddy is caught up in some vines and uses his saw blade tech to slice out and slice through the piranhas that are nibbling at his forearms. He hears Cup, which, look how I typoed that.
Oh, he hears cum.
K-U-M.
I mean, he's surrounded by tentacles.
Oh, this is some real tentacle porn right here. He hears Cup calling for help in the distance and comes across a monstrous cybernetic cephalopod who is tearing Cup apart. Hot Rod fires, freeing Cup, but the beast turns on him. The tentacles wrap around him. He can't slice fast enough to escape its grip. A blast to the computerized Craven's eyeball, and boom, the glass cornea shatters, and that's enough to make the beast retreat.
This is
I love how much Hot Rod just transforms underwater in this movie.
It's cool.
He does
He's
do
gonna
the
have
whole
gunk all up in his internals.
transform to go 100 feet down the way.
There's a lot of work here. I'm trying to think. I think it'd be really frustrating to try to animate us, like independently animate tentacles moving around
Yeah.
without getting them all confused. I think I'd get a headache from that shit.
This movie did give me a headache at several points. The flashing is
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot.
This is where
Strobe.
they play "Nothing's Gonna Stand in Our Way" by Kick-Axe,
AKA.
Spectre General. They also
That's actually one of my favorite songs. I think
It's
maybe
good.
my second favorite after Dare.
they also do "Hunger" at the Sharpticon pit. That song later.
Look, you're getting ahead of it, Ryan.
I don't want to talk about Kick-Axe again, so I just thought I'd throw it all in there.
Our friend Cup, he's all banged up and pulled apart at the seams. He just gurgles out the phrase, fix me.
Fix me.
And
Also, after so much death, like one-shot deaths, we get to see Cup like pulled apart at the seams, but he's fine. Don't worry
I
about
thought
it.
of that too.
and Hot Rod can fix him.
Yeah,
He just knows how.
basic field medic training, I guess.
That's what they teach you at Twink School.
He gathers up Cup's parts and heads ashore. We're back with the Magnus crew, consisting of Blur, Arcee, Springer, Daniel, and Perceptor. They land hard on the planet of junk. No seatbelts. Daniel's neck should be broken, but everybody's okay.
He's
Yeah.
a resilient little boy.
Yeah, there's the scene you're referring to right there.
yeah.
Put that on. Put that
It's
on
rough.
slow mo.
Shaken Daniel syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
They really land hard.
Yeah. God, I love this planet though. It's so funny.
Yeah, for real.
I
really
forgot
good.
how long it takes to get to the Junkions actually attacking from this point. It's like a good 10 minutes until we get there.
Well, yeah, because you got to cut back and forth between this and Quintessa.
And then Galvatron has to come. Well, we'll get there.
It's time to salvage the ship. Even Daniel can be of use by donning his father's spare exosuit. It's kind of tricky, but he gets the hang of it, and it's just like riding a bicycle that you wear that transforms into a go-kart.
Can we talk about the fact that, like, if the atmosphere is a concern, the window's already busted open.
Right.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Daniel, are you okay?
You're dead.
Yeah.
Again.
You're dead.
Guys, he's not really there. He's all
So everyone's
Yeah,
hallucinating?
everyone is hallucinating Daniel.
Through sheer force of will, they're just like picking up this 10-year-old boy and puppeting him around.
Oh no, like you're saying
It's a weekend at Bernie's.
I was
Yeah.
I was thinking like he wasn't there, but you're saying he's dead and they're just manipulating his corpse.
I'm a fan of all of these.
Okay,
scenarios.
cool. Weekend.
They're all bad.
They exit the ship. The planet is filthy. As the name of the planet implies, it's as if all the junkyards and landfills on Earth were shot into space and cemented together into a giant dump. And as the Autobots work on their ship, we see they are not alone on this planet, and these inhabitants seem hostile.
They're so close in that shot, too.
We're on Quintessa. Let's go there. Let's drop this line of conversation. A Rod Dog completes the reconstruction of Cup. Yes, he will be Rod Dog
No,
No, please.
henceforth.
unacceptable.
I'll take Ot Rod over Rod Dog any day.
He even got rid of a nasty burr in Cup's rotator.
Throw
It's,
it back.
it's
There's just that like 2-frame thing where he does the motion.
I don't get the Ot Dog reference.
Oh, Ot Rod?
Oh, Ot Rod.
The Last Night. Transformers The Last Night.
Oh,
The
okay.
movie.
Hot Rod is very French.
And he says his name, he's like, Ot Rod! It's probably the only part of The Last Night that I like, aside from the big fish that Cogman kills.
Well, you're wrong about that. The best part of The Last Night is Stanley Tucci as Merlin. But
We can't.
I think the best part of The Last Night is when it ends.
all right, you win.
We can't get drawn into a whole Stanley Tucci hole of your love for him.
Don't get me wrong, Stanley Tucci, great.
He is awesome.
It's time to find the Dinobots and ditch this planet. They come across a roadblock in the form of a giant body of liquid, and spilling from that lake is a large school of reptilian-looking robot people. They seem to be a simple-minded folk, and they respond positively to Cup's universal greeting. Say it, Ryan.
Ba weep grana weep
Grana,
ninny
weep,
bong.
ninny bong.
And I don't know if it's the greeting or just the Energon goodie offering that keeps them happy, but when all those Energon chiclets are no moss, these cons turn full alligator and dogpile on our heroic friends.
I think, what is it, retroactively, they're known as Alicons.
Yes.
Oh, are these not Sharkticons?
Mm-mm.
No, these
Is it
are
a separate thing?
different.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they're cousins, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, look at their little faces.
They're kind of
Maybe they're in
cute.
the same genus.
I like how they have the Soundwave face mask, but they still also have mouths.
Mouths.
It's not really a mask. It's not really
think
not
it's
really
a
a
beak.
mask. It's like their lower. It's just like their chin. You know. It's just like
Yeah.
right.
Stunning diplomacy here. Candy
Yes.
really will pave the way.
That's literally what soldiers in Afghanistan did for what's the coin? Thank you.
Right.
I don't know why I thanked myself.
Thank you. Thank you, me. I did it.
Oh shit.
I do love
And
the
after all
designs
this,
of these
they
things.
can't fight at all. Like they're just like, nah, you know what? Just two guys are gonna take us out.
Got the jump on them.
They've been fucking
And
killing
there's Wheelie, our first glimpse of Wheelie.
little
Yeah.
bastard.
So Cup and Hot Rod are captured. The Alicons walk Rod and Cup into a giant building, but from the foreground we see a strange orange vehicle glide into view. Who could this be? I realize I wrote that and did not see that Wheelie. We saw him in robot mode just a second before that.
I like Wheelie's vehicle mode. I will say that.
It's kind of
Probably the only
stylish.
thing I like about him.
It's like a Cybertronian Miata.
Yeah. A little Cybertronian Pinto.
If there's any like positive amount of wheelie, this movie is enough. This is like the perfect amount of wheelie if you're gonna have any wheelie, and I just say that based on now watching season 3.
The wheelie per minute is tolerable.
WPMs.
Yeah.
Bound by Energon shackles, Cup and Hot Rod are walked down a corridor and tossed into a cell. But before being thrown in that cell, we walk by a courtroom and see, I guess it's a kangaroo court of sorts in mid-hop. A stray Lithonian is on trial, but in this topsy-turvy world, innocence and guilt are one and the same, and result is always death. And that death is in the form of a trapdoor drop into the vicious razor grin of the Sharkticons.
Speaking, I'm sorry, of anime, I can't remember what it is. I should have looked it up, but those dead characters in that cell are from an anime show. I just can't remember what it is. And
Oh, that's cool.
It was an homage
it's on
of
TF
some
Wiki.
sort.
Yeah.
So the monsters in there and the monsters outside of the quintessence thing, those are two separate things? I thought they were the same.
They
So
seem
you're
to
saying
both.
the ones aren't Sharkticons.
The Sharkticons seem to only be in the Sharkticon pit, and the Alicons seem to work for the Quintessons, or they at least delivered Cup and Hot Rod to them. So they're like cousins, I guess.
But it's an aquatic-ish planet,
Yeah.
so everybody sort of has fishy robot modes, alt modes.
fishy fish.
So Hot Rod and Cup are in their cell, and they meet Kranix, who at this moment is the last survivor of Lethone, which you will remember as the first course, the tapas, the crudité, if you will, from earlier in the movie. He names the masters of this planet the Quintessons, and the demon that ate his own planet is Unicron. So now everybody's all caught up, and the guards can bust in and pull Kranix out to face his judgment. The guards also seemed... Those were Alicons, right? So Alicons maybe are slightly higher intelligence.
Yeah.
When I say this movie is like so watchable and so easy to watch, like I'm getting sucked in right now. Like I don't have anything to say because I'm just watching it.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
It is interesting also because, especially Flint Dille sets the whole thing up because he wrote the miniseries of season 3, but the Quintessons become like the new big bad in the season 3, and they kind of work with the Decepticons sort of sometimes. It's very interesting though. Like I started watching season 3, I'm like, do I like this? How dare you?
I think it is fun. Like when you've done so many episodes, it's just like, Optimus versus Megatron on top of the dam. Like you kind of want to mix it up and do something different. So it just sprinkle in some spice, and the spice is tentacles.
Yeah, it really does. Little calamari. It really does. Season 3 really does expand in a great way. It's also like the humans become actually interesting characters, which is mostly in the form of Marissa Fairborn. But it really does expand their Transformers universe so much. It actually starts to get kind of interesting, and then it's
We'll
canceled.
see. There's
we'll see.
30 episodes to
That's
go.
true. We're
I'm
5
sure there's
episodes
going to
in.
be some stinkers that we
How
can
long
do.
is season 3?
There's only like 35 episodes.
Which seems like a small number only
35
compared to
more go,
season 2.
Caleb.
Oh.
Yeah, although I mean, there's one with Daniel's surprise party, and
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah,
All
there's
right,
one-
we'll
That
get
sounds
to
like
it.
a My Little Pony episode.
there is I'm very excited for the one where Galvatron gets mental therapy. He gets committed, basically,
by Cyclonus.
by Cyclonus. Yeah.
Imagine getting involuntarily committed by fucking Cyclonus of all people.
Cyclonus kind of has his shit together, honestly, in
Yeah.
the show, from what I've seen so far.
Basically, Cyclonus is kind of the Ultra Magnus to the Galvatron's Rodimus.
Yeah. He's
Oh
really...
yeah, fan fiction puts like Cyclonus and Ultra Magnus as also puts them
Foils.
Like,
We're at a trial. It's Kranix's trial, and it's not going well for him. I do love the banter, like the spare me this mockery
of justice.
The floor's dropped open, and the Lithonian species is now extinct.
For all intents and purposes, yeah.
It's a horrifying end that seems to be in Cup and Hot Rod's immediate future. It is terrifying just to see the
It's pretty bad.
See
Sharkticons
them-
pounce.
Yeah.
Not the end I'd wish for, lad. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but the jitteriness of Hot Rod's hands
I think it's
is
intentional.
pretty cool.
Yeah, good. It's a nice touch.
I'm sure. Do you all know who Derek J. Wyatt was, right? as
Mhm.
anime
TFA.
or animation fans. He published different series of illustrations of Transformers the movie done in TFA style, and this is one that's out there that's really good.
Oh, that's fun. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to cut back to the Dinobots,
Oh yeah.
Woo!
The boys.
who are roaming the Quintessonian landscape trying to find Cup and Hot Rod. Grimlock and Slag get into a bit of business, but they are split up by a new friend they find behind them.
What is it's beryllium bologna and cesium
Cesium
salami.
salami.
Makes me want a sandwich so bad.
It's that orange car, but now it's a boy, a real robot boy, and Grimlock assaults the annoying rhyming tangerine, but Wheelie, that's his name.
As he should.
Wheelie is mad accurate with a slingshot, which he uses to defend himself.
It just bops that boy right on the nose. I love too how he like bruises for a second. There's just like the littlest blush of pink.
Why, boy, hit my nose?
I thought you said white boy.
I like that. White boy
Sick
hit
rhymes,
my
white
nose.
boy.
Oh,
Like his little spot.
Oh, like a bee sting.
Sometimes the best of friendships spawn from fisticuffs, and this is no different as the Dinobots and Wheelie move on to rescue Cup and Hot Rod. Now we go to Galvatron,
To Unicron.
who's returned to Unicron. He's like, why are you fucking with me, man?
I guess Unicron can only transmit pain over a distance, not information.
No kidding.
Well, Galvatron's in the neighborhood, you know.
Magnus is dead. The Matrix is destroyed. What gives? And Unicron gives him the 411 on Magnus and says, hey, he's still alive. You need to go to Junk and get the job done. That's the status. What is that? Like a lymph node? Like a Unicronian spleen?
He's got one of those like little strawberry angina marks.
Oh, poor. He's been made fun of that ever since junior high.
That's why he's so mad.
Now we're back on Junk, and unbeknownst to the Autobots there, the locals are preparing for a fist-flying free-for-all, a rumble, a row, a rhubarb, but before they can engage, the Decepticons show up. Galvatron, flying Cyclonus, blows up the Autobot shuttle. No escape now. Arcee and Blur ditch Daniel to figure out transformation on his own, which he luckily does.
That's so cruel. Truly.
It's really weird. Yeah, we'll see in just a second. Like, Daniel is running with Arcee and Blur, and Arcee says nothing. And it's just like, peace. And, like, just tears ass off. And Daniel's like, what do I do? To which Blur says, transform, also bye.
He says, you can figure it out. And
He
then
says you can figure it out.
You know,
then he
Blur
leaves.
though was never in the babysitting rotation.
Right.
This is just he got stuck with him a little bit, so he doesn't know what to do.
Arcee's just had a long day. She's burnt out on the Daniel
Guess
roster.
so. And here we have Shrapnel, who's alive again.
Yeah. Is the other one Bone Crusher? I never remember.
I
these
cannot
fools'
keep the
names.
Constructicons straight.
Who's got the scoop?
Who's got the scoop?
It's the scoop.
Not long haul.
It's not important.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Is it Scaven?
It might be Scavenger.
That sounds right. We're going with that.
Because Scrapper
Oh,
is
the dumbest one?
The sweeps. They're firing everywhere. Magnus commands the Autobots to go into some kind of junk cavern, which he blasts the entrance to so that they are protected. They've got shelter. Galvatron approaches Ultra Magnus and demands the Matrix. Ultra Magnus struggles to open it. He is then fired on incessantly by the sweeps. He struggles, he groans, he falls to the ground and explodes.
So this is where
The tin hat. The tin hats are coming out.
Okay.
that's
Cool.
where Kit and I started
Put
being
'em
like,
on.
well, this is where we have to combine the IDW canon of there is just a small man inside Magnus, and that's why he doesn't die.
And that's why, for me, it's so convincing that, spoiler alert, later on the Junkions come back and, like, put some goo on him, and he's just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, he gets to come back from the dead. So to me, that says there's a Minimus Ambus inside his chest that's just
love
like,
it.
shit, what do I do now?
So the Minimus Ambus is just chilling, though?
Well,
Just on the ground?
I mean, chilling? I think he's having an anxiety attack.
Okay, he's frozen.
Or there's just like he just knows that like because the Magnus has been blasted apart, he's like, I have to wait for everyone to leave and then I can come out and fix it.
And then they put the suit back together around him, and like that's why it works that he comes back to life. And he's like, whoo!
That makes so much more. It really is a missed opera because this toy did have the Optimus, like the white Optimus
White
Prime
Optimus,
inside of it.
Yeah.
And they never address it ever in the cartoons. It's just not
I'm also
a
going to
thing.
mark the Daniel moment as number 5 on Daniel's near-death experience
Yes.
list.
Oh, of course.
Yes, absolutely.
We were wondered how the transformation works because his hands are now up here when he's in the car, and they were theoretically in those arms. So are they just like he just?
I think
squished?
they missed not be in the arms.
they're
He's
not-
just in the core.
And can control
Yeah, I
it
think the
somehow.
arms are so awkwardly placed, and they say
Yeah.
that it's controlled by thought. Like you have to think something, and then the
Yeah.
exosuit
Oh, I
does
guess,
it.
yeah, they do.
So
But
Think
we,
about what you want to do before you do it.
but at one point we were joking like if he transforms it and his appendages are in there and it just
Breaks them.
break as he's transforming.
Now that's a saw.
This part where the sweeps that kill Ultra Magnus in the comic book and in the script, it's a lot more graphic because the
is.
comic book was being done at the same time as the movie, so they just went off the script. But why there's 4 sweeps and they shoot those bolts out in the book. In the script, it grabs hold of Ultra Magnus's appendages and draws and quarters him and rips him apart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
That's
actually would
brutal.
lend credibility to the Minimus Ambus theory because then his torso wouldn't be
It's fine.
shredded apart.
Yeah. Well, I kept watching it as closely as I could last night. I can't tell exactly how bad he's fucked up. Let's
So
watch
those
it.
would have been beams, I guess, that were wrapped around
Yeah,
him.
like ropes.
And then I don't know if just mid-production they said, this is too hard. Let's just have
we
them
saw
now be...
Prowl vomiting ash and smoke, but this is a step too far.
So let's examine this damage. I mean, the explosives
So he
seem to
bonks
be
there.
coming from his chest and his arm.
Uh-huh.
I know. I feel like our best evidence for it is when they do put him back together. The torso is brought up to like the
Yeah.
plate completely whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, like
He looks very surprised.
oh, how could this happen to me? Ultra Magnus.
Yeah, inconclusive. Okay.
Inconclusive.
Great.
Galvatron has the what is it called? Matrix.
Matrix.
Yeah, he's got it. And guess what? Guess what he's gonna do now? Guess what? He's gonna go try and take on Unicron
He's gonna hit us with that Flava Flav flavor.
with the
He
clock.
may be Galvatron now, but he still has the audacity.
We did refer to that as his Jesus piece.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
You did.
Oh, okay. I don't know why
Bring me
that's so
into it.
contentious.
I don't know.
You did.
Because I didn't understand what you were talking about
Sometimes
at
the
all.
application of the royal we is controversial.
Apparently.
And Unicron is upset.
Yeah. He heard so he can hear what Galvatron's saying or thinking, I guess.
I guess it doesn't matter. It's not important.
He's all knowing.
I love that Galvatron thinks that he can bury this rebellion, though. That's the Megatron coming through.
Mm-hmm.
The audacity.
The audacity.
But you would think Unicron would know that you can't tether that Megatron essence.
No, but Unicron is also, I feel, on the level of overconfident that Megatron is, if not more so.
I'm just curious, how would they dispose of the Matrix? Can the Matrix can it even be destroyed?
I think he'd probably just eat it.
I
don't
guess
know
if
how
you've
it
just,
works.
I guess you don't even have to destroy it. You just have it, and then other
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
don't, and then that's
and then
all
nobody
you
else
need.
can use it against you.
Right, but every now and again you get curious.
It's like how we have the hydrogen bomb.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like nukes.
Sure.
All right, we're gonna go back to Quintessa. Cupra and Hot Rod are facing judgment at their trial. They avoided being held in contempt of court, only to be found.
Even though he has nothing
but
contempt for this court.
Absolutely.
There was a really funny T-shirt that I saw that was.
I know what you're talking about.
It was called like It was like a
Quintessos.
Quintessos. Yeah, it was like a cereal, and it was it was a T-shirt that was meant to look like a fake cereal ad that was Transformers the movie based, called Quintessos. And Hot Rod is on it, and he says, "I have nothing but contempt for this crunch."
That's pretty
It's
good.
pretty awesome.
10 out of 10.
They are found innocent, which of course means they're being put to death. Trapdoor plan drops, and our duo falls to the Sharktacon infested indoor pool below. They are weaponless. Cup and Hot Rod decide if they're going to go out fighting. It's demolition derby style. They go into their respective automobile modes and they circle the.
In this.
Yeah, it's interesting. They circle the perimeter of the pool, and I guess they've got such velocity that they turn it into a whirlpool, which they use to ramp out of the pool. Words can't describe what's happening on screen.
I think you described it perfectly.
Yeah.
They have more
I
Sharkticons.
remember like being a kid in a pool, and it took a lot more time to get a whirlpool going.
Oh yeah, you had to run slow motion along the perimeter for a hefty chunk of time. But also, we weren't race cars, so
True.
Yeah, give yourself some credit. You did the best you could.
with my awful flesh body, yeah.
But at the end of the day, those Sharkticons were going to eat your ass.
I like how it's kind of like a leopard seal. The second that the Sharkticons get on land, they're useless.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, there's a lot of car smashing. It's a like bowling alley sort of vibe. Lots of groups of them being smashed by Cup and Hot Rod. At some point, they transform, and I don't know why they did. They were doing really well with their initial strategy, but they decided to go into robot mode and start melee fighting these things, and they are doing a lot. Well, they hold their own, but it's not as good as when they were in car mode. Maybe it's an energy thing. I don't know.
I love Cup ripping the tail off the one and using it as an improvised weapon.
Yes.
Absolutely,
It's so good.
yeah, it's great.
I like the moment coming up where Hot Rod kind of like jukes and one of the Sharkticons gets the other
Yes.
one. Pretty good.
I think that's right
I think
here.
right here. Yeah. He punches his teeth out too.
And the animation is just excellent at this part as well. Like gross part.
It's super gross.
This is really where the comedy starts. Like, it's a magic movie. They're just like, what if we really put like a quick comedic break?
Yeah. Maybe we needed it. So,
Well, I mean, right after this is going to be the Junkions, right?
Yeah.
We'll get back. Yeah. The Quintesson prosecutor, he demands this execution to commence, but here comes the comedy, baby.
Excuse me.
Splash.
Door falls right on top of him. Dinobot says, "Excuse me." I don't know what
Love
more you could
that.
ask for.
Perfect.
What is his
They've
name?
been trying really hard to teach Slag manners.
That's Slag. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
AKA, what's his new name?
Slug.
That's not offensive
Slug.
in the
Slug.
UK. Okay.
Yeah.
It's so funny
is our
because
Triceratops, slug.
people in the UK can drop the C word like it's a
can
it's
say
an
cunt.
adjective, but
Yeah, you don't have
slag
to
is
censor
problematic.
yourself. This is a safe space. You can say cunt.
All right, we've got Wheelie. This is kind of charming. I kind of like how he rides on Grimlock's
Grimlock.
neck. I think it's kind of
I'm
cool.
okay with Wheelie when he's not talking.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think we only have one more line, and then he doesn't talk the rest of the movie.
Perfect, like you said, perfect.
Thank God.
Didn't we have an acronym, the perfect Wheelie ratio or something like
Wheelies per minute.
that? WPMs, that's right.
I mean, you could use RPM, rhymes per minute.
Ooh, dang. We need to have a Wheelie Twista competition. The rapper Twista?
I don't know why you're looking at me like I know.
Because you love the rap.
You love music.
Who is Twista?
Get out of here, kids. Twista, the famous Chicago rapper on the cover of the Source magazine with the watch with the bezel.
Literally,
I know you have no
fucking
idea what I'm
you're
talking about. And there's no reason that you would.
There's
Or
one
that-
guy
let
in our
me
listening
Google
audience who's like,
Twista
represent!
rapper from Chicago cover watch.
He raps really fast. That's all you really need to know.
Gotcha.
Okay, Grimlock Dinobots on the scene. Any troubles that Cup and Hot Rod were having with the Sharkticons are now over because all Grimlock has to do is roar at them, and they are really under his control at this point. And he directs.
Spreading the Union message.
That's right. Grimlock is a great Union leader. You're right.
execute them.
Instead of unionizing a Starbucks, he sends the Sharkticons to go kill the Quintessons, which they do.
I love that.
And then they bring democracy to their workplace.
Workers of the world, unite.
And look, as soon as they have like the Union fever, they work together so much.
They World War Z it up that ramp.
Yes, they do.
Sorry, a bit of a tangent, but we are in a union fever right now. I'm excited. I hope there's like
Oh, it's
I hope there's a
phenomenal.
lot more of it. It's insane. It happens. It's like more in New York than anywhere else. It feels like, but hopefully
Yeah, I
it
mean, we
spreads.
actually have some ties to some of the Starbucks that are trying to unionize.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, one of our friends from college worked at that store in Ithaca where they successfully started their union, and then the store immediately got shut down.
No.
So now they're trying to kind of battle that in court and all that.
Typical.
Yeah.
You know.
I listened to an interesting interview the other day. Sorry about the tangent, but
go for
with I think it was also in New York, or it was definitely in the Northeast. It was a Trader Joe's that they're trying to unionize, which was shocking to me because I've always considered Trader Joe's a relatively progressive kind of company, or at least that's their perception that they're trying to give off. And but no, they're shit, just like everybody else. And these
Just
people
like every
are,
other corporation.
right, and they're working to figure it out. Structicon Union. I'll join that local
Maybe that's
401.
All right, yeah, let's see. Let's see.
Actually, we could make that a poster. We do a lot of propaganda posters.
Yeah. So you all are looking for evidence of the Minimus Ambus.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day I am eyes peeled, Minimus watch, 2K22.
Well, it's so much better because, not every incarnation, I guess really starting with IDW. Now, they did some in the Dreamwave comics as well, but they've incorporated this idea that most of Ultra Magnus is like a armor that's
Power
added
armor.
to another being.
It's fun. It's a fun, I think, mythology for a figurehead.
Yeah. And I like retroactively applying things to like previous continuities.
Sure.
Where it makes no sense. It just makes me happy.
All right, the
Oh,
Junkions
Here we go. Dare to be stupid.
are on the scene.
Yes.
I guess I didn't set this up. We're on Junkion. Unbeknownst to the Autobots, the locals are preparing for a fist-flying free-for-all, and Blur, Arcee, Springer, and Daniel, they're crying around the smoking remains of Ultra Magnus.
God, it's been a
Three
long
father
day.
figures that Daniel has lost in one day.
He's dead. It's emotional. First Prime, then Magnus. These guys just can't hang on to a leader. But again, no time to grieve. And by the way, nobody's grieved for Hot Rod Cup and the Dinobots.
In
No.
the script, RC actually says first Hot Rod, then Ultra Magnus.
But not the Dinobots.
Yeah,
Or
nobody
Cup.
cares. I would just assume you would just think they're probably fine. Like,
They're scrappy. They're orange, they're tan, and they're more than a little suspicious of outsiders. Friends, it's the Junkions, and these people fight with nets, chains, axes. There's so many of them, and they are very resilient
And
to
they're everywhere.
battle damage. You knock them
This
apart.
is like full scale Mad Max shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They easily repair themselves and jump back into action. Here is a scene I'll just call out real quick. I'm sure I could put this in slow motion, but just keep an eye on Perceptor.
Oh.
This is really funny. We're at on my version 1 minute and 2 seconds, 1 hour 2 minutes 18 seconds into this. So he just takes off running because what else is he gonna do?
He's a fucking microscope.
it's true. Throughout this whole thing, we do see Perceptor is just running, and he's keeping up.
Oh, poor guy. I do love the Junkions though, because you have like the one who is the motorcycle and the one riding them, and then if like they get knocked over, the one who was the rider will become the motorcycle,
We've
and then
agreed
the
to
motorcycle will
switch.
become the rider.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Take a break, bro. And I don't know which one is taking the break, the motorcycle guy or the rider guy. Yeah, it's very Mad Max style, bike versus car battle scenes. There's some Springer versus Wreck-Gar melee action. Just as Springer is about to get it, Wreck-Gar gets a bonk on the head from our friend Daniel. You go, boy.
I do like RC's like James Bond style wheel spike.
That is included in
Homegirl
the
is
official Takara Masterpiece Edition of RC.
That's
Nice.
just what women be like.
Having spinny parts.
Yeah.
How come nobody's made the meme where the guy is with his girlfriend and he's looking back at another girl, but replace the heads with Springer, Hot Rod, and RC?
Surely.
Is this an original? Is this an original thought?
Nobody take that 20-year-old joke.
I am writing it down.
So many
Oh,
Junkions.
I really love the Junkions. They're
Just-
so cool.
They're
coming
fun
up from the
designs,
trash.
yeah. There's one I guess it must have been when we were doing the movie. We looked up all like because there's some of these Junkions do have weird names. Like there's one named like there's one named Nancy, which is
Yeah,
weird.
well, they all have trash related names like junk heap or like
Detritus is
trash
one.
pile.
Detritus?
But then
it's
you go through the
detritus,
names of them,
yeah.
and then it's like Nancy.
Yeah.
Which Nancy, by the way, is a Junkion, but she's actually the model for that character is just a rehashed Lithonian female form.
Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah, not I guess. It just shows that they continue to be lazy into season 3. They just continue to be lazy. I wish that we had an opportunity to dive more into the Lithonians, and I'm surprised IDW didn't do that. But
That's
it,
what
is,
fanfic
it feels
is
like an
for.
untapped resource. Yeah. Ugh, Springer.
Harper really got some beef with Springer.
what's your problem with Springer
I just don't like him. I find him annoying.
in this movie or in all of
sourced
the?
it to
I'm
IDW too.
familiar with him in season 3.
That's
Yeah.
what he said last time.
IDW2 is part of the problem.
Oh,
He's
okay.
such an ass.
Okay.
I had
I
him
didn't
as
get to Springer in
I-
IDW too, so.
he was a fun toy. I had him as a toy that was pretty cool, but I don't really care about him otherwise.
Did he effectively triple change?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. That's cool.
We're watching.
That blade becomes his helicopter blade.
Well, now he's fucked. He can't
I know
fly.
that's how he can't fly.
So we're doing season 3 right now on our podcast, and I'm going to give you a spoiler, but there's a scene where the Autobots are on this random planet of garbage and goo, and it's controlled by the Junkions, but it's not.
But you don't know
Junkion.
that at the
You don't
time.
know and this machine's coming along, kind of harvesting scrap out of this goo, and Springer gets sucked up into this harvester and gets chopped up into pieces, much like a la Ultra Magnus. And Arcee is like, "Oh my god!" And Rodimus Prime goes, "Gross."
Gross.
Oh yeah, I saw you guys reference that.
Yeah, and so it kind of
It's the best line
It's-
ever.
Gross.
really
Gross.
It kind of sums up
that sums up that
his
dynamic
capacity
right?
for empathy.
It's true, because after he says gross, like you see Springer getting spit out, and he goes, "Oh, Springo."
Yeah, just like he calls him Springo.
Now's not a time for our locker room nicknames.
It's jocular boy talk.
Alas, poor Springo. I knew him well.
It's gross.
Daniel kind of saves Springer's life here,
Yep.
which is pretty cool. And before the battle can continue, there's this large, ominous shadow that envelops everybody. And there's a pause in the action. And because that large corkscrew Quintessonian ship, it's piloted by Cup, Hot Rod, Wheelie, and the Dinos. The gang is all back together.
I love this shit.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
The ship sinks into the Junkion landscape. The team emerges, much to the surprise and delight of their comrades. Cup whips out a rifle at the Junkions, who he can tell they're a little hostile. And Hot Rod slows him down. Hey, guys, let's try the diplomatic path, which I think is pretty cool. I think it's another nod to his growth.
Is him meant to be growing, yeah.
This is one of my favorite Hot Rod lines where he's like, "What's that universal greeting again? No, never mind."
Instantly, never mind, I remember.
I feel like the fact that we have audio of Hot Rod saying bong has been underutilized. in the band. Hot Rod and Cup.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
The universal greeting, it actually yields a lot better results than when Cup used it earlier. And the Junkions, the Autobots, they go from suspicious foes to fox-trotting friends in no time whatsoever.
I fucking love this dance party.
It's the best part of the movie.
Also, my favorite part is that Hot Rod and Wreck-Gar are dancing together in like this really like crazy dynamic moves.
Yeah. Also,
It's-
where did Hot Rod get more Energon snacks?
Maybe on the ship.
Holding out.
He's been making them.
Yeah, or maybe they regenerate. I don't know. I do like this part where you see the Dinobots dancing in Dino mode.
Yeah,
And, like,
listen, Slag is going
Slag is
so
bouncing.
hard.
Yeah,
I don't know if we ever see the Dinobots in robot mode. for
we
the
see
rest-
them in robot mode. They were Grimlock was
At
in
the
robot
beginning.
mode in the ship. They're at the
Right.
in the beginning. They're in robot mode when they attack Unicron.
Okay.
Oh, but they turn. Yeah, that's
right,
true.
okay.
Oh, I also love Wheelie and Daniel breakdancing.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
Slag is just jumping up and
yeah,
down.
he's doing the giant toddler dance.
No, he's doing like punk show jumping. Yeah, they're really cutting a fucking rug there.
Mhm.
I'm getting some our flag means death vibes from this scene. I just feel like it's just a bunch of good old boys having a good old time.
And now we can mark that off the bingo. Aaron has mentioned our flag means death.
I love Grimlock's like shock and horror at being
Being
smooched.
kissed. He's a king.
Yeah.
You can't kiss a king.
His eyes are so animated, so silly.
It's kind of adorable though.
Oh yeah.
Eyes are so wide. Ugh.
He's taken some mushrooms and they just kicked in.
If he was a real T-Rex, he wouldn't be able to like reach his face. His arms would be
He'd
too
just
tiny.
be pawing at his neck.
Ugh.
This is the Ewok moment, guys.
It's way better than any Ewok moment. How
Yeah,
dare
Ewoks
you.
don't watch TV.
Speaking of TV, Retgar explains their television-based terminology, and Cup gets in on the act. As we referenced, Grimlock gets smooched by a Junkion, and then the Junkions accomplish the improbable. They gather all of Ultra Magnus's parts and reassemble him. He is still alive, everyone.
It's a miracle.
A Christmas miracle.
No, it's one of my favorite kind of like sci-fi tropes that pops up every once in a while. It's like, we have been watching your television, and that's why we understand you.
Yeah, and that's being this is an '80s movie, that was a huge trope.
What is
And I
this
love it
goo?
every time.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
So, like, we don't actually see what parts of Ultra Magnus are brought together, but, like, most of what we see is them putting things back onto the torso.
Yeah.
So that's where our theory lives and dies.
Yes. Although we do see his open chest where the Matrix would go, and so if there is,
I think he's inside there, though.
if
Like,
there's
that's a
an-
false bottom.
maybe so. Yeah, I mean, if there is an Animus Mimbus in there,
Minimus Ambus.
if there's an Animus Mongoose in there,
If there's a
then,
black mamba in that thing.
then he basically just is
deadliest
staring at a Matrix the whole time. It's just like just shoved in where his face is.
I think he would find that very peaceful.
I would like to ask him about his death experience.
Yeah, what did you see on the other side?
It's like, there is no God. It's like, what is it?
Just darkness.
Like flatliners, or it's like
Or like martyrs.
yeah,
If
exactly.
anybody wants to get in on that.
Missed opportunity to put Kiefer Sutherland and Julia Roberts in this movie.
Sorry, I don't get that one.
Flatliners
There's a
reference.
1990 movie called Flatliners, where they intentionally kill themselves to do what, Ryan?
They're
See
just
the other side?
experiencing the other side.
Yeah.
They're medical students.
But they bring.
That one was remade, so that's why
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, the 1990 version, not the 2017 version.
I'm trying to remember who's in the 2017 version.
They're both bad.
I believe you.
But you
Oh,
get to see a
Daniel.
little dick in the 1991.
A little bit.
I mean, that,
Yeah.
that counts for a lot. That's like a whole
It's-
star on IMDb.
It's a good Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon. That's, is that
Nexus.
who's
Yeah, it's a
Oh.
good. It's a good one to connect. You can get to Kevin Bacon through that one.
Is one of the Baldwin brothers in that?
Bill, I think it's William.
Oh man,
Just
I haven't
about Flatliners.
I haven't thought about Flatliners in a long time. That movie
Yeah,
freaked
fuck
me
this
out.
Movie. Let's
It's a freak. It's
It's pretty weird. It's weird.
All right, so the Matrix is still gone though, but there's still hope. We can get to Unicron in the Quintesson and Junkion ships and destroy him. It's the only play we've got. So
Kill the Grand Poobah.
the good guy robots load up in their respective ships and take off to go find Unicron.
I do like that the Junkions are immediately on board.
Yep.
They have no
Yeah.
idea who Unicron is.
I think
And they're just like, no, we want to fuck shit up.
they love a
we
good
dance
tussle.
together. That's a bond that cannot be broken.
Oh,
I think the
there they go.
Junkion ship looks cool too.
All right, here we are,
Yeah,
the third
it
act.
All right, we're almost through it. We transition to Unicron. Galvatron is flexing hard. He's got the Matrix. He believes he can now command Unicron, but all he manages to do is piss Unicron off. He can't open the Matrix at the end of the day, so it's really just a quartz bookend at this point. And Unicron,
it's
go
Great
ahead.
piece of jewelry.
Yeah, a
A lot of
Je-
ice around his neck.
a Jesus piece, which I guess I'm the only person that likes to talk about
Making that happen.
It's not, that
Beings
we,
believe
it's not
it.
that we don't like to talk about
Just
it.
don't
It's just
understand.
Why don't
No,
you guys
I love
like
that
me?
phrase. It's good.
Unicron reveals his true form.
yeah.
Panels flip, openings open, sounds of steam and modestly lubricated grinding metal emanate from the planetary form. And about a minute or so later, we see that Unicron is also a transformer with a rather imposing horned and bearded robot mode. He's a giant space Viking.
This transformation is pretty cool, and it's also completely spoiled by the trailer. The trailer for this movie shows this part,
Oh,
Sorry,
Lame.
Ryan.
which is
See,
stupid.
I like how his abs appear, like his
yeah.
abs appear.
Slide back.
Yeah.
I will say, seeing this, I kind of understood why people were spending like $600 on the toy. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I guess I get it.
It's pretty.
It's
Amazing.
pretty. Aaron has one. It's pretty awesome. It's huge. I mean,
It's a really big.
Yeah.
The toy is so big. Aaron's like, I don't know if I can handle it.
I kind of want to get rid of it just because it is so overwhelming in the presence in the display, and there's nowhere to put it.
He's got dozens of really nice Transformers, but this one, he can't handle it. It's like that. It needs its own room with a spotlight on it.
Just
Like,
in the center.
yeah.
that's been my favorite convention news recently. Is people talking about bringing their Unicrons like in a stroller because they're so big.
That's funny.
It is toddler-esque. I've never turned it into a robot. It's really just in planet mode. But
Turn into a robot and swaddle it.
they're yell at it.
Will it
Yell
swaddle?
at it.
Breastfeed it.
Yeah.
I look. Caleb said to breastfeed it.
Yeah.
Just hold it upon my tender
I can't get
bosom.
my
Your teeth,
Unicron to
yes.
latch.
My Unicron's having tantrums in the grocery store.
That's why TFCon is hosting. They're going to have special Unicron wet nurses there this year.
Nice. As long as they have a pumping room for me,
That's
then
right. Yes,
I'll be
absolutely.
happy.
There's gonna be like a Unicron playpen.
Everybody
Drop a
puts their
Unicron
Unicrons.
What a fucked up weird situation that would be.
I kind of want to do that.
I
Just
kinda wanna-
steal all the Unicrons.
I want to see it.
Have a Unicron playdate.
Yeah.
I went to a conference for, I can't even remember what it was for, but it was in Austin, Texas. This was like 10 or 12 years ago. And at this conference, they had a pen that just had armadillos running around in it. This isn't a hotel.
Huh.
Gross. Armadillo.
What do you mean gross?
Gross.
Armadillos.
They're adorable.
Armadillos are great.
Did you know
Armadillos
that?
are
I thought they
pretty
gave you
cool, but they can't
leprosy.
have
They do carry leprosy.
They carry. They don't give it to you necessarily.
How do you get leprosy?
Well,
It's very complicated. Listen to a podcast.
it's actually not that communicative.
I don't have time to explain it to you.
It's not as it's not as contagious as you think.
It's not. It's really not. I think
Most
it has to be a combination of like open sore to open wound contact.
Yeah,
Thank-
and
I'm
most
not
people
100% confident on that.
most people are naturally immune to it.
Thank-
It doesn't
Okay.
infect that many people.
Thank God.
I was so what you're saying is
Go lick a leper.
I can fuck a leper.
It is sexually transmitted.
You can
That's
hold
fine.
an armadillo and you'll probably be fine.
All right.
I believe we call it Hodgkin's disease now. Hopkins disease? Yeah. They've
Oh, I don't know.
rebranded.
It's not Hodgkin's disease. Is cancer.
It's Hopkins then.
Okay.
I think it's
all
Hopkins
right.
disease. They've
They can
rebranded
give
it.
Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Anyway, that is leper talk.
That's our APDC Armadillo Hour.
Love it.
That was our leper lecture.
That's what a leper lecture. That's what I live for.
Okay, Unicron, planet mode. He had been considering sparing Cybertron, but because Galvatron done fucked up, he's gonna tear this shit
Just
apart.
wrist deep in that planet.
I like how we get a live shockwave reaction.
Yeah.
I know.
We're under attack.
No one's
I think
listening.
Shockwave has one line in this movie.
Yeah, poor lonely Shockwave. No one's listening to him anyway. As if like it's stating the super obvious.
In the script, he dies in this scene.
Oh.
How?
He's in a tower that Unicron smashes.
He's in that tower, just like Shockwave's lonely tower.
That's
Um,
the tower.
Yeah, he says
That's me in
Decepticons.
the complex.
He says Decepticons scramble, but they are already scrambling.
We got this.
Also, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Since when is this many?
Yeah, interesting to see the random
they've
varieties.
cracked the code on reproduction.
Yes.
We've got some cone heads. They try to attack Unicron, but get eaten.
Maybe. I mean, they're in season 3, so I guess they're fine. They got better.
I mean, well, because we do see that Daniel stops the digestion process,
It's
so
true.
maybe they make it out.
It's true.
Also, they should have known that they couldn't best Unicron because they don't have the power of Stan Bush on their side.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yep.
If the touch isn't playing, you can't do it.
Nope.
Go ahead.
What's up?
No, I was just gonna say there's a part here where we see whenever the Junkion ship and the Quintesson ship approach, you'll see like 5 little glowing dots next to it, which I think is meant to be the Dinobots flying as well.
On this scene right here?
So
In a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not yet.
So the
First, we
Dinobots
gotta
never
do some lore.
got in those ships? They just
No,
flew
they got in
alongside them?
They got in them, but they get out before they crash into the eye because they attack Unicron in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Unicron,
they kick his butt.
Yep.
Unicron is finally fed up with Galvatron, so he devours him, but doesn't munch him up. You'd think he'd use some teeth action at this point.
He's just too little. It's like, you think you could accurately bite like a single bacteria?
Okay.
One single krill.
The Autobot teams arrive. They are in sight of Cybertron. Just the visual of taking in Unicron's gargantuan form just
There it
leaves them
is.
awestruck.
Oh, I see what you mean.
yeah.
Oh, Godzilla shit.
Cup is
I always thought of it
speechless.
as frozen breath or something. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
In the Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, that's the breath that would turn you back
you
into
into
a
a
turtle.
turtle? Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron and I played the arcade game Turtles in Time recently.
And we beat it
We
on
did.
easy mode.
So, not to brag.
But that's Super Contra or
some
Contra 3.
MLGs over there.
Yeah, we played Contra 3 and we were very bad at it.
Yeah, no bueno.
This is interesting to everybody.
Yep. So Hot Rod's team, they cruise in for an attack. Their needle-like ship is immediately destroyed. Hot Rod guides the front of the ship to crash through Unicron's glass eye. And so they're in his skull at this point. I saw Perceptor just now. I don't remember if
He
we
was
talked
in the
about that
Junkion
in the
ship.
Junkion ship. But where are Magnus and Blur? They they basically disappear from the movie. At
They
this
do,
point.
but I think the implication is they're also in the Junkion ship.
Okay. Most of the team takes a long fall to they share a platform. They all fall in the same place. Unicron's internal immune system releases offenses to kill the team. So they, being Springer, Daniel, Cup, and Arcee, they all take the hell off with these snaky claw arms chasing them as they go. By the way, this was Daniel death moment. Probably number 12 by this time.
Fall.
Like,
He has inertial dampers.
sure.
And like he lands on his feet too. Like his ankles are fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he reversed polarities at the last second.
I would assume the exosuit can like handle some G-forces.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like convert that shit.
Well, we have to believe that because he's alive.
We have no choice but to believe it.
Hot Rod is caught up. He's separated from the team by kind of getting snagged on some internal spiky spikes. But he eventually completes his fall to this mysterious dark,
Mysterious.
almost it's almost like a sanctum-like area.
Is this the part where the like straight up Universal horror movie music plays? I think. it is.
There's like pipe
Yeah,
organ
yeah.
songs. Yeah, it's pretty
I love
intense.
this shot of Galvatron coming up too.
Mhm.
It's so
Like him
cool.
in the darkness, moping.
Yeah, the
Wow,
shadow.
very Derek Hale of him.
Very what?
Derek Hale, he's a character from the Teen Wolf TV show.
Oh my lord! I need to go back in time 10 years so I can be in sync with your pop culture,
Or just don't.
and I can live 10 years longer. Ryan.
Ugh.
Okay.
Why would you want to do that in this
No,
current
thank you.
economy?
Yeah, I'll get to live long enough to see America actually turn fascist. 100%.
This is fun.
All right.
I don't think you really have to wait.
No,
for that
I'll
one,
see that in
bud.
my
I think
lifetime, no
we're already
problem.
Here.
Okay, the darkness is broken only by the shining light of the Matrix hanging around Galvatron's neck. And for a moment, it seems like maybe we're going to have a little duo team-up situation. Because Galvatron's like, we have a common foe.
Yeah.
But then Unicron gets all up in Galvatron's head, and we're just going to have a fight after all.
Yeah. Maybe you should kill him. I think you should.
Maybe so.
So it's another sort of one shall stand, one shall fall situation. Galvatron and Hot Rod are just kind of duking it out, doing their thing.
With so many like environmental dangers around them, it's amazing nobody's skewered.
Here we go. Here's my boys.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, robot
Yes.
mode for a sec.
The battle continues outside of Unicron. The Dinobots deal some solid damage despite their relatively small size. It's a hit and run situation.
Yeah, this is where Grimlock kicks butt. They are the only ones who deal actual damage to Unicron, which
Because they attack the rear.
That's his weak spot.
Yeah, nobody
Oh, they're
sees the
so
back of you.
good.
I mean, they do legit damage here.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Just, like, grabbing it. He should scratch his. It'd be funny if he's like scratching his ass.
It's like little bug bites.
Yeah, exactly.
He says me, Grimlock, need new strategy, but that worked out. I would just
Yeah,
say
that's pretty good.
rinse and repeat.
Keep doing that.
Yeah.
God
Once
damn it,
again,
Daniel.
being left behind.
It's a recurring theme in the movie.
Yeah. Springer Cup, Arcee, Daniel, Blur are running through some Unicronian corridors. The Pinchies are still chasing him down. Daniel falls. He's enveloped by the Pinchers. So everybody just starts taking shots at him.
Mm-hmm.
Does this count as a near-death Daniel moment?
I counted it as that. It's contentious, though, in the hallways of the Autopod Decepticon
Aaron made a big
headquarters.
to-do about it.
There was that shot of Arcee there that was our cover art for a long while.
Oh, yeah.
Photoshopped some stunner shades on her.
And then they get separated.
Yeah, that's the lasers. I guess they hit some interior lining, and on the other side of that lining is a whole lot of liquid.
Some kind of... Unicron's
It's
a
a
squirter.
It's a gusher. So in your canon, Ryan, this is
This is ejaculate.
this is
Yeah, it's a real Missy Monroe moment.
Oh, what's it called? There's a specific term for it. I can't remember though.
it's not lady spooge.
No, it's not Lady Spooge. I don't have the book that it's actually in. It's a Mary Roach book. It's an actual research
Oh.
book. Yeah, read Bonk by Mary Roach if you want to have your world.
Oh, I have read
that.
that. It's been forever, though. Yeah,
Isn't it so
I've read a
good?
lot of her books.
Oh yeah, I've working my way through all of them. I think the only one I haven't read so far is Packing for Mars.
Is it fiction?
It's okay.
Nonfiction?
I was
No,
not...
it's all nonfiction. She just does like deep dive research.
Yeah, like
Okay.
she has a
Sorry,
book
Ryan,
called...
what were you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say, Packing for Mars is okay. It's not what I necessarily. It's not as detailed as I kind of wanted it to be. But Corpse is good. She does like she's great.
You talking about Stiff?
That's what I meant.
Yeah. There's Stiff, Bonk,
Corpse.
Spook, Gulp.
hmm
There's more. I don't remember.
Good. She's good.
Just not enough female ejaculate in the Mars.
I can never get enough.
Okay.
Well, in this situation, it looks like our merry band of Autobots are getting plenty.
They are awash
Yeah, they're lost
in
in the
ejaculate.
sauce.
Lost in
Whatever the
sauce.
scientific word for
Lost
that
in
may
I'm
the
be.
also
sauce.
going to count this as the 7th Daniel near-death experience.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
He is for danger.
He is separated. He's washed away from the group, and eventually he will emerge from the rapids. He's caught up in some waves, some rapids,
This is a pretty cool bit
Yeah, it
where
is.
the dropping through
and the first-person
Oh,
perspective.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's not clear how he gets from there to where he goes, though.
No.
Yeah, I guess it seems like he went into he got to an area where I guess the waters weren't as strong, and it just happens to be right here by. Although I think this is is this an animation
Oh,
error?
this is
What do you
awful.
mean?
This is an awful scene.
Well, note
Smelting pool.
Daniel is still in the water. He hasn't gotten out of it yet, and now
And the next scene, he's just kind of like
he's
dunked.
right there on the. He's gonna be. You're gonna see him on the platform. You see him right over
Oh
here,
yeah. Oh, that's absolutely a reused frame that they just put earlier.
and here he is just getting out of that water.
Well, now I hate the movie.
Cancel the podcast. Delete all your episodes. The movie's bullshit.
We've had it.
This is pretty gross.
Yeah. So we're at I don't know what this is, if it's kind of a digestion chamber or what,
I
but
think that's the
Like
implication.
a stomach.
it's a mechanism inside of Unicron. It's basically an acid pit, and above that is a rail line that's carrying the unlucky life forms that happen to have been caught up in all of whatever his internal defense systems are, and they're being dropped into this acid pit, and we see a few robots get just molten into pudding by being dropped in there. And who else is up there? Dad!
It's Spike.
Spike,
Thank
Bumblebee,
God.
Cliff Jumper, Jazz, they're all up there, and they need Daniel's help because they are seconds away from getting dropped into this pit. Daniel fires on the he has a little, some goofy moments here, but he ends up firing on the acid pit, which he hits a piston that causes part of the lid to come down, and guess what? Everybody's safe.
I do love that nobody gave me a gun in exchange.
I don't have a gun.
Corey Burton also, just to his acting ability and how he you believe he's in
He's
terrorized.
great.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was when we originally did this, I always joked about this scene how half of it's still open, and either the other life forms are either landing on the plate or still falling in the other half, and they're not doing anything about it.
Right.
There you go.
Maybe we assumed that the plate was enough to save everybody.
I'm hoping.
Megatron, or I'm sorry, his name is Galvatron.
Yes.
And Hot Rod, they continue their fight. We're catching up on that. It's a little one-on-one action. Some great punching, shooting, and grappling. Hot Rod, ultimately, he does really good. He holds his own, despite the fact that he's not as super powered as Galvatron. But eventually, we'll see Galvatron manage to get a hold on him.
So I'm going to be a buzzkill. I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to leave in 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
Okay.
But you can keep going, and I'll just have to say goodbye to people
So
and
rude.
all that. But we'll get through this. I want to get through the touch again here, and then I'm gonna.
You're
You
about
just
to
gotta
get
get through it.
it. Just slog through. Galvatron is delivering a nice little "I'm about to kill you" speech about first Prime, then Magnus. Now you. Galvatron gives it's a nice toxic speech, but as he's doing that, Hot Rod manages to secretly slip his fingers through the grip of the Matrix, and it's responding to him. It ultimately is going to grant Hot Rod, now Rodimus Prime, the power to break Galvatron's grip and withstand some plasma shots. And we hear Optimus Prime's voice. That feels nice, right?
It's fine.
Oh, do we hear Optimus Prime?
Yeah, he says
What does he say?
he says arise, Rodimus Prime.
Oh. I did not notice that.
Definitely didn't clock it. And here we go.
Yeah, because then
Stan Bush begins
There we go.
playing.
The key to any Unicron murder party, Stan Bush. The difference between Hot Rod and Rodimus Prime, as far as I can tell, he's stronger, but it's really about 2 feet and a couple of extra lines on his face.
Yep.
And
H
like
line.
2 octaves lower.
Right.
A significant chunk of vocal gravel.
Yeah.
I prefer his cartoon voice over Judd Nelson's portrayal here, but that's I like Judd Nelson's Hot Rod as Rodimus. I think it falls a little flat, but
I'll have to listen to some clips, contrast and compare.
Rodimus picks up Galvatron and chucks him through Unicron's flesh into deep space, never
Gross.
to be seen, at least through the rest of this movie.
yeah.
Then he proceeds to open up the Matrix, its crystal core emitting stronger light and heavenly energy that sears through all of Unicron's internal corridors and organs. Shit's exploding everywhere. Unicron rips off his own leg. We gotta get the hell out of
That's
here.
so weird. He also digs his fingers into himself, which is very
Well, he's
strange.
probably feeling a very significant amount of pain.
I suppose
discomfort.
he's lost his goddamn mind.
Empathizing with Unicron, always a good thing to do. Guys, I feel a little sorry for him right now. He's
really.
I don't think I was empathizing with him. I was just saying, like, that probably feels bad.
He's got beams shooting through both of his nipples.
And you just hate to see it.
You do. It's the worst.
Nobody likes that sensation.
Daniel regroups with Springer's team, and then that collective regroups with the new, improved, hot Rodimus Prime. I knew he had potential. Did you guys know he had potential?
I heard that.
Heard it through the grapevine.
The team escapes Unicron's innards as he literally tears himself apart. They transform, they drive out of there, they exit through the opposite
so
eyeball
dumb.
from which they entered.
If you notice when they escape, like Rodimus, who I think it's supposed to be Rodimus, is colored like Ultra Magnus. I mean, it's a tiny, tiny little bit. It's so weird, like the way the animation error is, and when they drive through the eye in just a second.
And what are those
Keep an eye
things?
out.
I think that
I
was
think
supposed
it's
to be
his
his finger.
fingers, like his fingernails.
In just a second.
But that's not what his
they're flying
hands
away.
look like. Oh, he.
Oh my god, yeah.
You cannot
I love Rodimus's new vehicle mode.
I do
too.
too.
Like,
I like it.
The space
he's just
Winnebago.
like,
Winnebago.
"No, I am an RV.
Unicron mumbles about his destiny as his body spasms into its final moments. An initial explosion blows Unicron's head clean off, and a larger secondary explosion shreds his body to pieces. It's all over. So we close things out.
Has we officially joined the Dinobot polycule? He's just hanging around.
He just likes Grimlock.
Oh, so he's not like in the polycule. He's just attached.
Carry me.
What if
You
he's
didn't rhyme it.
what if he's humping him?
Ugh.
He's grinding on that.
Hated
Grimlock.
that.
I absolutely hated that.
No.
We close things out very quickly. The Autobot team is regrouped on Cybertron. Rodimus appears from a platform, platitudes galore about the end of war and a new age of peace. Until all are one, you got the power. Yeah.
Everything will be okay forever.
Yeah, we definitely don't have 2 more seasons of the show.
I do remember when going to a skating birthday party after seeing this movie and asking the DJ if he could play "You Got the Touch," and he looked at me as if I'd asked if he would pee in my mouth. Like, I don't think he knew what I was talking about at all.
You know, Stan Bush's
I know.
non-hit. You got the touch.
Our friends at the SUNY Fredonia Queer Prom in like 2014 asking them to play a Fall Out Boy song, and everybody else in the room like standing still and glaring at us.
Oh, that's funny.
I would think that would have been hot back then. Like, wasn't that good?
No, it was American Beauty, American Psycho era, so everybody had
Okay.
moved on from Fall Out Boy.
Moved
Oh,
on.
gotcha.
Kind of, yeah.
We're going to close this thing out. The camera is panning out from the Autobot celebration. Unicron's head has been caught by the gravitational pull of Cybertron and is now a new orbiting satellite, which will forever serve as a reminder of what the Autobots have overcome and achieved. End credits scene. All right, stick around, Caleb. We have about 15 minutes of end credits, and I'm just joking.
I wish I could stay, but I have to go. So
That's okay.
Bye.
We forgive
Yeah.
you.
thank you.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you very
It was
much.
good to see you. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, likewise to you both. So, I don't know why I did that. That was weird.
Top of the Father's Day
Yeah,
to
yeah,
you.
And a Father's Day to
Me,
you.
me and all of my progeny.
So it's fun talking with you guys. So I hope we get to do it again soon, or if not soon, at least in a couple of years.
Or come to Chicago.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, yeah. If you can come to Chicago, come hang out. Hopefully everything will be fine by then.
Shit.
Yeah, you think after 3 years everything's
right.
gonna be fine?
I think we've turned the corner, everybody.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, I'll leave you guys to it, and bye. See you guys.
Later
Bye.
days. Have a good Sunday.
Good to talk to you.
I'll scooch over a little bit now.
Just the 2 of you.
We won't make it if we try, or even if we don't try.
What's next?
All right.
I think we can make it. We're at the end credits.
That's right. Let's see here. Okay, the show's over. Here's some little discussion points. Since we last met, there have been several Transformers the Movie related events in the toy collectibles realm. We referenced the fan-funded Hasbro HasLab Unicron, that giant figure that's hanging out in my room. I kind of just want to sell it. It's actually going for like 3 times what you bought it for right now. So if some
Damn.
bozo wants to buy it, it would probably actually make me happy.
What's a good size comparison for like how big it actually is to like hold?
It's like it's as easily as without the rings. Like the main body part is as big as a beach ball, like a big beach ball.
Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
So like smaller than like an exercise ball, but bigger than like a basketball.
Somewhere in, it's definitely bigger than a basket. Somewhere in between a beach ball and an exercise ball.
Oh jeez.
I mean, exercise balls can have big, different diameters too. But, it's ridiculous. It's too. The box itself is probably 4 feet by 4 feet cubic. Like it's ridiculous.
Odd.
Now I'm glad we pulled all the plastic out of the planet to make these goddamn things.
Hasbro has also extended its Studio Series line that was originally developed for slightly higher-end versions of Bayverse figures to include the 86 movie characters, and it's somewhat perplexing, that line, because they were doing original molds, but then there's a lot of molds like Springer and Ultra Magnus that they've put in other lines that they should have put in the Studio Series 86 line. Anyway, to date, they have released a Jazz, Cup, Blur, Grimlock, Slug, Gnaw, Starscream, Retgar, Scourge, and a Sweep and a Hot Rod. Non-Perceptor and Spike. I thought I was running out of things, but they kept coming. Upcoming, we have an Arcee and Junkyard, which is one of the Junkions, and a rumored Daniel in the mix. Do y'all any reason you all would collect that Studio Series 86 line?
We grab like every once in a while if like we see a character we like. I mean,
yeah, back to the Cyclonus. That's one that they
boy.
should have put in that Studio Series 86 line, but they just didn't for whatever reason. I don't know. Basically, what's keeping me from buying it is like I want the Transformers the movie logo on the box, so that's why I haven't bought that Cyclonus.
We haven't kept any of the boxes. We're selective, but our selection has nothing to do with like market value or nostalgia.
Sure.
It's literally just, hey, do I like this? Yeah, I'll pick it up. Did I buy a Tigatron?
Are you talking about the Animal Kingdom Tigatron or whatever Kingdom? That's
what is it?
War for Cybertron.
War for Cybertron Kingdom, yeah. Which we still haven't watched. We only watched the first leg, and we didn't watch Earthrise, and we didn't watch Kingdom.
I think Kingdom is the best piece of it, honestly. Just skip to that.
Well, if we're going to watch it, we're going to watch it.
Fine, okay. Don't take my advice.
I won't.
I completely refuse.
We absolutely won't.
We love to suffer.
The only other thing I noted here was the movie recently celebrated a 35th anniversary with a new 4K Blu-ray widescreen edition along with feature-length storyboard and a Stan Bush featurette, Ryan. That's what you've been asking for.
Yeah, I've been clamoring.
And they played it at Fathom Events screening at select theaters over that September weekend. And they included quirky stop-motion comedy videos featuring the Studio Series 86 figures. So that's it. Ryan?
Yo.
Well, I guess I was going to say let's go to the real world, but let's take a minute to come down from this movie. How are you all feeling about it? What's your takeaways?
It's delightful. It's so chaotic, but it's so enjoyable, and I had a really great time.
I really, really loved watching it. It's so fun, and I think there's so much action, and it should almost feel like it's too much, but I think it works perfectly because it just keeps you engaged the whole time.
I think you guys put it pretty well when you're like, it's just very watchable.
Yes.
If it's all the best parts of G1, like shoved into one movie. Mm-hmm. Aside from the absurd animation errors, which I could have done with more of those. But I also understand that, it's a movie. They're putting a little bit more like money into it.
Yeah.
But I just want like what do we call it? What was wrong with Prowl? We call him Bowl because it was Blue Streak and Prowl in that one episode. Which one was that? That was the one where they're trying to drain the sun of all its energy, I'm pretty sure.
Classic plot.
I think Cliff Jumper it's Gears.
The Sun Tower? Is that the one where Gears becomes nice?
I think is it called Changing Gears?
It's Changing Gears,
I think so.
Yeah, the one where Gears becomes nice, and then there's a shot of Prowl who's like hunched on the edges of the encampment, but he's a mix of Prowl and Blue Streak, and also he has no face. It's like, that's classic primo G1 for me.
That's what you needed. You needed more of those kind of errors in this movie. Yeah, I agree with your point about it really does take the best elements of G1 and gets them all right. And the action, while there is a lot of action, I feel like the action also moves the plot forward appropriately, as opposed to just being there for the sake of being there.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Ryan, do you want to do
Script deviations?
I would love to. We spent a lot of time, there are so many script deviations. I kind of picked and chose some of the highlights because if you want to hear all the script deviations we did from our review of the movie, I did edit them all together and release them as episodes 87 through 92. so you can give that a listen. And of course, you can check
Give
out
that a listen.
whomever wants to check that out. There's like
It might
6
be us,
hours of
you never
them.
know.
It's crazy. And of course, you can check out our TFCon panels from Chicago and DC on our YouTube.
Just not the parts that
Just
were
not that
taken
one
down
part.
by the legacy of the writer of All by Myself. You fucking piece of shit.
We're gonna find you.
Your balls a tug.
And yet they like gave the rights to Glee.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Honestly, biggest betrayal.
In his book, The Games Master, Flint Dille talks about taking a crack at a rewrite for both Ron Friedman's original Transformers the movie script, and the version I use in our review is probably the second or third Friedman version, which is pretty crazy. Flint says there were so many drafts it was impossible to keep them straight, and he and Jay Bacall cranked out a draft called The Secret of Cybertron, which is the Unicron was coming to destroy Cybertron, conspiring with the Decepticons. To combat this, the Autobots discovered they could use the Matrix as a key to transform Cybertron. And it had to be... Basically, it's the Primus story. He transforms into a robot to fight Unicron.
Fist fights Unicron.
Yeah. In order to do this, it had to be the Matrix had to be inserted at the center of the planet, and the Decepticons had fortified the area, so the Autobots run... quote, the Transformers equivalent of the charge of the Light Brigade to install the key. In one charge, we wiped out 90% of the 85 Transformers product line. So it would have been even worse. As far as I know, Flint still can't find a copy of that original draft, but he was cleaning out his closet when we talked about this to him, so maybe he's found it by now. He's released a bunch of stuff that he found in there recently. The big bad in this movie is interchangeably in the script called Unicron and Ingester, and the reformatted Decepticons not only have a third insignia design that looks like Unicron, but their battle cry is Ingester and Victory. So that's weird.
I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah. I think that actually
Sure is there.
that might be our next poster, is I'm going to do Galvatron in front of Unicron, and Ingester and Victory is going to be the tag.
Oh, that's fun.
At one point, Unicron siphons energy off of Earth by having the Decepticons pile up a huge pyramid of Energon, and the, quote, Energon cubes start to be sucked dry up through a cold beam into the deepest space with soda straw sucking sounds.
So I always get confused by that. So they're on Earth,
Yeah, the
and there's a
Decepticons
bunch of cubes.
pile up Energon, and
a straw
Unicron
comes
eats them
down.
through a
They
straw. Like a baby.
I've never known a baby to use a straw, but
You're not hanging around the right, babies. So even worse Autobot shuttle deaths. In the Autobot shuttle, Brawn is cut in half by Megatron's fusion cannon.
Oh my god.
Prowl is melted into a puddle of slag. Ironhide and Ratchet are shot by everybody, and the heat fuses them together, and they fall apart in smoldering fragments.
gross.
Pretty gross.
I guess
See, it sounds gross, but now I'm just like, they should have committed. I want to
Yeah.
see it.
I want to see it.
if they'd
A
have
bit
committed to
harder
that,
traumatizing all of your fans.
Mm-hmm.
if they'd have committed to that, though, you wouldn't have got Megatron just assassinating Ironhide right before that cut, which we all
It could have
need.
been somebody else.
That's true.
It could have been anybody.
Could have been you. Could have been me.
In the script, there's a new Autobot combiner, and he's the main enemy of Devastator. And they're called the Anabots, and they're creation of Wheeljack. So
Oh, another one?
So they're more furries.
they are kept in cages like slaves. Yeah, he seems walling off his own creation seems to be Wheeljack's bread and butter.
Sorry, the fact that Harper and I made the exact same facial expression when that clicked.
Mm-hmm. The Anabots are they're essentially what would become the Predacons. They're, except that they combine into Dragon Beast, which is a dragon gestalt.
Phenomenal.
Dragon Beast.
I have to do a screen share.
It's a design by Floro Dairy. It's pretty wild looking.
Yeah, please. I would like to see it.
Hang on. Okay, I just think that this is just a ludicrous design.
Yeah, let's see it.
Here you go. Here it is. It's a rhinoceros with wings and a long neck And I don't know how you make that work, but okay.
Just a
Except
real
when
fucked
giving
up
Chimera.
person. Yeah, a little Chimera action.
On another note, here's what Cybertron would have looked like if it transformed to the right.
I find it interesting that Cybertron and Unicron would both have wings.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of an angel demon thing where it looks like Cybertron's wings aren't skeletal, but Unicron's are.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. When Hot Rod and Daniel are fishing, Hot Rod gets a tug on his line, and it says, quote, he pulls up the line to show he's caught 3 large fish, which I don't even know how that's possible. I don't think Ron Friedman's ever been fishing.
He's fishing with a grappling hook, so there's like 4 hooks on it.
And then Hot Rod throws his pole into the lake, and Daniel, instead of riding off on a rocket board, gets on a bicycle.
I like that for so many reasons.
It's a lot less cinematic.
Throws his rod into the lake.
Yeah.
So those poor 3 fish are just swimming around, dragging a rod behind them.
Hot Rod and Arcee,
Michael.
in the script, it's more obvious there's a love story between the two. When they're pushing the launcher into place, the script says, she likes him, but doesn't want to go too far. And then it says, Hot Rod, looking at Arcee, interested in her, but trying to be cool.
So I guess that answers
I think he failed.
I guess.
That answers the question. I mean, it's all about the two of them. And Springer's just trying to get that cuck action.
I do like the idea of them being a throuple, though. That seems like it'd be real bad. Like a real bad mix.
The most toxic throuple in existence.
As somebody, I've never had a polyamorous relationship. When you're in the throuple and do you only schedule time in duos? Are threesomes just occasional like moments?
It depends on the throuple.
There's a lot of
there's a lot of dynamic. Yeah,
you really have. There's a lot of rules. You really have to be very specific.
It could be A-shaped or it could be a triangle.
All right. Well,
we'll talk about it.
Thanks.
That's why you gotta have these talks. You gotta set boundaries.
Sit down.
Hot Rod's not good at talking, so I don't know if it's gonna work out.
I don't think he's mature enough.
No.
Finally, the Matrix. In the original script, the Matrix is not a physical object. It is the life spark, basically, that becomes a thing later. When Prime dies, a tiny, shining, homunculus version of himself floats out of his chest and into Ultra Magnus.
Minimus Ambus? Is that you?
I guess you're right.
Holy shit.
It's all coming together, boys. I've connected the dots.
You did it. And so I don't know if you remember, whenever with the Decepticon Hall of Heroes, where Starscream has his coronation, if you notice the little flickering candles underneath the statues of the Decepticon leader statues. I don't know if you noticed that.
Supposed to be their little homunculi?
It is their life forces, and Megatron in the script was taken to Cybertron and supposed to be enshrined in one of those, but all the Decepticons got so busy fighting with each other, a statue fell over and crushed Megatron, and his life force floated out into the void, and that's what becomes Galvatron.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
My only problem with that scene is that there just wasn't enough penis on those statues.
like the Cardiff Giant.
Yeah.
So
Really
that made me think,
spike size.
like, so if the Matrix wasn't tangible, I wondered how Galvatron would have gotten it away from Ultra Magnus on Junkion, and the way he does it is he chainsaws Magnus's chest open and puts the shining Optimus Prime in a bottle like a lightning bug.
Like a little Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
How does Optimus Prime like that?
Well, I don't...
Is he claustrophobic?
Yeah.
That's not addressed. That's it. That's what I got for Script Deviations. There's ton more, just, it's
Episodes,
so much.
number?
Real.
87 through 92 is where they're all combined.
Okay.
Or just go listen to all 90 episodes of our movie review.
It's
I
truly...
mean, we get to do that now if we want.
It's true.
That's true. No spoilers.
Yeah, there's some bad stuff in there.
The first 50 episodes are rough.
There's some cringy moments. There's some bad recording things that I'll go in and edit out
You're not
whenever
touching it.
after I retire.
I'm changing the password. You cannot get at our source material.
It's all right. We can frequently revisit some shit that we have said that didn't make it into episodes.
Ryan, what about? Did you do anything for the
In the real world.
I did.
What was happening?
This movie premiered August 8th, 1986. In the American Top 40, number 1 for the first 2 weeks of August in 1986 is Peter Cetera's power ballad, Glory of Love. It was Cetera's first single after leaving the band Chicago to pursue a solo career. Since we're contractually obligated to mention the Rocky franchise at least every third episode, it pleases me to say that Cetera originally wrote this song for the end title sequence of Rocky IV, but United Artists passed on it, and it ended up as being the theme for The Karate Kid Part 2.
Is that a step up or a step down?
Lateral.
I don't know. I think it's a step down.
Rocky
IV,
I
way
do
bigger
love the Rocky
cultural
series.
impact than Karate
Was
Kid
Rocky
2.
IV the Russian one?
Yep. That was
Okay.
with Dolph Lundgren, Ivan Drago.
Oh, yeah. I remember Dolph.
Have you seen the new Old Spice commercials with him in them? It's really
No,
weird.
we don't have cable.
It's not on. It's like on YouTube or something, or maybe it's Tubi. They've like it's like
Oh,
God, I love Tubi.
I do too. But it's like they've de-aged him to the Rocky era, and it's just him spraying the deodorant in his pits and going, ah. It's really weird.
I've recently, a while ago, Harper got into this podcast called You're Wrong About, and they have a very extensive O.J. Simpson trial history. And my coworker and I were listening to it at work, and Dolph Lundgren shows up partway in as part of one of the person's backstories. And I'm like, Dolph?
Mm-hmm. No.
Sir?
Whose backstory?
Paula
he
Barbieri.
He dated Paula Barbieri for a long time, actually. They were together a while.
I like
Paula
that
Barbieri
podcast.
being O.J. Simpson's girlfriend at the time of Nicole Brown's death.
Okay.
Well, she had technically broken up with him and then tried to go off and fuck Michael Bolton, but that didn't pan out.
Right. Oh, this sounds right up my alley, actually.
No, seriously, go listen to You're Wrong About. Their whole O.J. Simpson stuff, it's really incredible.
It's a good podcast in general. Like, I like that podcast.
It's a good podcast, Brent.
This song was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Song and a Golden Globe for Best Original Song and a Grammy for Best Pop Vocal Performance by a Male Artist. And that's all about that. I like power ballads.
I'm not familiar with it. I guess I need to look
I
it
can't
up.
sing it. You would know it. You would know it if you heard it.
Do you want me to play it into the microphone?
Sure.
If Caleb were
hold
here,
on.
he'd be doing it already, but he's like, I have a family.
I'm a father. I have responsibilities.
Oh, I spilled my seed inside my wife.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Oh, okay. I already know. All right.
Instantly.
It sounds like every Peter
The
Cetera
opening
song.
sounds familiar, but I'm not placing it yet.
Number 1 at the box office for 4 weeks in July and August of 1986 is one of my favorite sci-fi action films, Aliens.
Woo!
You guys seen this movie?
I
No.
know.
I've only seen the first Alien.
Aliens is high in the running, and I have this note later, but like for the best like sequel, in addition to T2, both by James Cameron, coincidentally enough.
Yeah.
So Alien 2 was stuck in production hell for years due to litigation and a lack of interest by 20th Century Fox. For anyone unfamiliar, Sigourney Weaver stars as Lieutenant Ellen Ripley, the sole survivor of an alien xenomorph attack on her ship in the first movie. When communications are lost with a human colony on the moon, where her crew first encountered the aliens, Ripley agrees to return to the site by the Weyland-Yutani Corp company man Paul Reiser, accompanied by a troop of colonial marines. The movie also stars Michael Biehn, Lance Hendrickson, and, of course, Bill Paxton, R.I.P., and was written and directed by James Cameron. The filming
Man,
took...
Lance Henriksen always getting that bag.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, he's always great. He was very good in this one.
Who is? I don't know who that is.
Pumpkinhead.
Okay.
Hey, high five, man.
Yes, excellent.
He's in a lot of shit. He's in wait, didn't he voice Silas in TFP? I'm almost certain it's Lance
Don't know.
Henriksen.
He was in a series shortly on Fox called Millennium, but nobody remembers that show.
I think he also voiced somebody in TFA. I think he's in a couple different Transformers voices. Yeah, he voiced Lockdown in Transformers Animated.
Oh, that's great. That's a great voice.
He does have a good voice.
Yeah.
Very gravelly.
Oh, I recognize his face now. Okay.
Yeah, he's a weird-looking dude.
He's just one of those guys always around. Okay. Bag,
Let's
as you said.
renormalize casting weird-looking dudes. Like,
Seriously,
Honestly.
everybody's like weird slime clones of each other now. It sucks.
the filming for this movie originally took place in the same studio, Pinewood Studios in England, and it was a very antagonistic production between the American and British crew, the latter being openly hostile to James Cameron, who they thought of as a nobody because none of them had seen Terminator, and they refused to listen to producer Gail Ann Hurd because she was a woman. The normal 12-hour production schedule American studios used was unacceptable for the British team, who regularly left for tea and knocked off early to go to the pub. Which, I don't know, sounds pretty good to me, but...
Workers
I think
unite.
This is a situation
Exactly.
where both of them are wrong.
It's true. Cameron called the crew lazy, arrogant, and insolent, and after the shoot wrapped, Cameron addressed the crew by saying the thing that kept him going through all of it was, quote, the certain knowledge that one day I would drive out of Pinewood and never come back, and you sorry bastards would still be here.
That is a pretty good spite speech.
It's
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's the theme of the day, is spite. Aliens was nominated for 7 Academy Awards, won 2, Best Sound Effects Editing and Best Visual Effects, and Sigourney Weaver was nominated for Best Actress, but lost to Marlee Matlin for Children of a Lesser God. Aliens was wildly successful, both critically and financially, making $150 million off an $18 million budget. And one tiny little last bit of trivia, Bill Paxton is the only actor to be killed by a xenomorph in Aliens, a Terminator in Terminator, and a Predator in Predator 2.
You go, Bill.
Wow.
Fun facts from this week in history. This is the only episode we'll have in the month of August of 86, so I kind of just cherry-picked stuff off of what was going on in that month. In August 5th, the U.S. Senate votes for the Strategic Defensive Initiative, SDI, better known by the derisive name Star Wars Program. It was a program by our wonderful President Ronald Reagan in 1983 using particle beam weapons and space missile systems to render the threat of nuclear attack by the USSR obsolete.
What a fucking idiot.
It was real bad because it almost started another arms race until it was scrapped. Although Trump did start it back up in 2019.
Surprising.
Yeah.
Isn't 86? This is also, when did this drop in September?
August 8th was when it premiered.
August 8th. So, like, so close to the fucking Challenger disaster. And here's Ronald Reagan like, let's put more shit up in space.
Well, on the 15th of August, President Reagan did decide to plan for a replacement shuttle orbiter for the Challenger, which I believe was in January of 86 when that happened.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
The resulting vessel will be named Endeavour, which first flew in 1992. August 20th, Patrick Sherrill committed the deadliest workplace shooting in U.S. history at the time, killing 14 people in 15 minutes by shooting up his place of employment, a U.S. postal office in Edmond, Oklahoma, which is
another You're Wrong About connection for us.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the Going Postal episode.
Yeah, one of their first episodes, they did the phrase "going postal."
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty awful phrase.
Yeah.
It's bad.
And it talks a lot about, guess what? The fact that it's pretty much Ronald Reagan's fault.
Yeah. I mean, most of the things we have problems with now can kind of be laid at his feet, really,
100%.
and honestly.
Credit bureaus, mortgage issues,
The fact we have
student
no
loan
health,
issues,
we have no mental health care in this country.
homophobia. Yeah.
On the 21st of August, Jamaican sprinter and fastest man alive now or ever, Usain Bolt, was born in Sherwood, Content, Jamaica. And on the 28th of August, Tina Turner gets her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Nice.
Good news.
about
Thanks for closing on some
goddamn
good
time.
news.
Yeah, I didn't want to end with, like, the postal shooting or the Star Wars program.
Yeah, I'll take Tina Turner any day.
That's the real world.
Nice. I think we're at the point where we would rate the scheme. What are we rating? How do we articulate this? I guess let's start with the Decepticon plan to kill all the Autobots. How do you guys feel about that initial plan?
I mean, it was very successful.
I would say 8 out of 10. They managed to
Yeah.
decimate quite a number of them.
Prime
I
did
would also
turn the
give it an 8 out
tide,
of 10.
but yeah, a lot of people died. What are the other schemes? Unicron's scheme to destroy the Matrix, that was a failure.
That didn't pan out.
That was an abject failure.
You got to get better workers than get Megatron.
He really did back the wrong pony.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd give
Brett-
that like a 2.5 out of 10.
Really there, but for the grace of Megatron.
Yeah.
And I guess that's all the schemes. I'm trying to think like the again, the Autobots are just never proactive in anything. They're constantly reacting
Hot Rod
to threats.
kind of is.
We talked about this last night, that the Decepticons are always planning and their plans never work. And the Autobots never plan, but they always just pull it out of their asses and survive.
They are 100% reactive.
But yet better, I guess.
And their
than-
tech is always better. Like, the Decepticons' plans are better, but the Autobot tech seems better. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
What was the tech that was so good that impressed you?
They had a
The
Matrix.
Junkions have good tech, shockingly. They bring
Matrix
people back to
thing.
life.
But
Yeah.
is the Matrix tech, or is the Matrix like...
Spiritual.
Yeah.
It is more
'Cause
of a
I don't think the Matrix was like made. I mean, like technically it must have been made somewhere along the lines, but it wasn't something the Autobots developed. I feel like it predates the Autobots.
Yeah, we get a lot more of that in season 3. There's some of it. I mean, season 3 does a lot of Matrix work.
But they don't ever talk about the creation of the Matrix.
No, it's just
to
kind of
my
there.
knowledge.
But it is basically the idea is it's the housing for all the combined Autobot leader
Wisdom of the
knowledge.
Prime. Yeah. I mean, nobody ever asks like who forged the Holy Grail. So
It was Jesus.
It was
Jesus
me.
made his own grail.
Slippery
Jesus,
Steve.
he was a carpenter. He wasn't a metal worker.
That's right.
Is
this,
the Grail wooden?
this is the cup of a
This
carpenter.
is the cup of a carpenter.
It's just like a little square cup.
Yeah. They didn't say he was very good in shop class.
I think
He
there's
just
He
took
said
shop
it.
class.
I think there's a Kids in the Hall bit about that where they show like a table Jesus made, and they're like he wasn't very good.
What?
Love that.
Okay, we can.
I'm the ghost of the iconic moment.
You know. And I want to hear from the two of you first. What singular moment stood out as most iconic for you?
Oh.
Dare to be stupid dance party. That's gonna
pretty
stick
good.
with me forever.
That's a really tough one.
There's a lot of easy answers, but
Let's see if you give us one of the easy
I'm not gonna give
pedestrian answers. Dare to be stupid dance party is pretty unique.
I don't know, Harper. When did I cheer the loudest?
That's a great question.
There was a lot of shouting on our first viewing, like active hooting and hollering.
I was happy to see like when I saw like a couple tweets you guys did, and it's like I was like,
This movie sucks.
I'm glad
Yeah.
they didn't hate it.
Oh no, we loved it. What did I mention in my tweet? Let's see if that gives me any clues.
No pressure.
I'm having a hard time pulling it because I really did just enjoy the
There's
whole
just
thing.
so much. There is a lot.
Yeah, we have said this before. It's a pretty bold move to jump 20 years into the future following 2 seasons of the show and kill off the whole original cast. It was really just Hasbro wanting to sell different toys, and the movie did flop. So I don't know how effective it was, but although Hasbro did successfully sell Transformers toys well into the 90s, like
Well,
on the
the
line.
brand still exists
Was
today.
that when they were doing like G2, where they're all
Yeah.
recolored,
Yeah.
Nerf colored?
They did do a few alternative takes on characters that were pretty dopey. Like I think there was a Bumblebee that was a black car for some reason.
There were also like Action Masters, which didn't transform,
Right.
which is all you want in a Transformer.
I think I'm torn between like literally any moment with Arcee in it, but like specifically that bit where she's like dunking on Hot Rod, like, well, you need to stay close to me.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Or Spike saying shit. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
It isn't even dented.
They edited out when Bumblebee says "motherfucker."
Let Bumblebee say fuck.
Fuck.
I,
Let this child swear.
I still really don't understand the reasoning by Hasbro insisting they kill off the line. Like, you don't necessarily have to make more toys. I don't know why you had to make it in. Like, you could just have the new characters be the focus of season 3 instead of murdering everyone. But whatever, I don't know.
It's still an entertaining watch.
You know, apples to apples.
There is the debate that if it hadn't been so contentious of like them killing Optimus, maybe Transformers wouldn't be as popular today. I don't know if that's valid or not, maybe, but like the fact it was such a big deal, I don't know.
Like that it made people talk about it? Is that the logic behind that?
Yeah, and also it did, like, Transformers came out first. There was the G.I. Joe movie, but it never got released in theaters because Transformers flopped. And they also changed, like, in G.I. Joe the movie, Duke dies, but they retroactively changed it to him slipping into a coma, which is a line delivered off camera because of Optimus Prime's death.
Oh,
And the
that's
reaction to
incredible.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go with just that opening scene, Unicron flying past the camera.
It's pretty great.
Eating the planet. And you're just like, what the hell are we in for here?
Mm-hmm.
Sets it up really well.
I don't have. I'm gonna doing a cop out because I went through like basically just what happened after the movie. Going into season 3, like I said, we leave behind the power plant attack of the week. Season 3, like we said, is like 35 episodes. Season 4 is 3 episodes called The Rebirth, which introduces a truly staggering 46 new characters.
Wow. I didn't realize it was...
It was originally meant to be
Christ.
5 parts, but when writer David Wise was informed he needed to cut it down to 3 because of budget cuts, he was pretty miffed, realizing he would be introducing a new character every 30 to 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy.
That was the Headmaster days, right? The Headmasters,
Yes.
Target Masters.
Yes, Dan Gilvezan, voice of Bumblebee, along with others, thought the choice was odd since it meant the whole run would be an awkward 98 episodes as opposed to 100, which is a good number for syndication since it's divisible by 5. Season 4 introduced Headmasters, Power Masters, and Target Masters, and the funniest part is when Daniel becomes Arcee's head. He's her headmaster. So
I'm having some
that
trouble
happens.
digesting that one.
that occurs.
I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think Power Masters were introduced during that. Sorry, I know I'm being really... I just can picture people yelling at us.
Well, I don't know. Maybe not. I think. Well,
So for those who are yelling
belongs
at
to
us,
her.
I got your back.
People screaming at their phones.
So angry about the
Ryan's-
3 episodes of
Ryan's-
season 4.
That's right.
There's also a so-called season 5, which is the weirdest one. Every episode opens up with a real kid, Tommy Kennedy, who's a resident of Autobot City, and it's set sometimes after 2006. He talks with and interviews Power Master Optimus Prime in the wastelands outside of Autobot City, and then they cut to the cartoon, which is initially shows the movie chunked up into 5 episodes. Then the 5 Faces of Darkness, and then Surprise Party, which is the one of Daniel's surprise party, and then of all things, Dark Awakening and the Return of Optimus Prime, and then 3 parts of the Rebirth, and that's the whole run of season 5 with this this boy interviewing
so just
a puppet Optimus Prime.
rebroadcasting season 3
just
in the
chopped
movie.
and screwed.
Yeah, it's so weird. Jason Jensen was the 12-year-old actor who played Tommy, and according to him, the filming of all the segments took place over a week in June of '88 at Silver Cup Studios in Queens, New York. The Optimus Prime puppet used for close-ups was mostly made of wood and required 2 operators, one for the eyes and one for the mouth plate, and another to move the head. At one point, the puppet fell over and crushed the wooden hand Jensen would have been sitting on had he not been on break.
I can't believe that thing was made of wood. I
Yeah.
thought it was computer generated this whole time.
It looks,
I'm gonna go look up a video.
They're
I would like to
awkward.
see it.
Tommy, let's revisit this old adventure.
According to the Transformers animated The Allspark Almanac 2, Tommy Kennedy goes on to be president of the United States.
They're really developing the lore for little Tommy.
And then there's this weird G2 TV show from 93 to 95, which was just 52 old episodes repackaged with a new intro, which is extremely irritating because it's a new transitioning segment with something called the Cybernet Space Cube, which looks like a Borg cube ship and has all these sliding panels and shit to like wipes for different scene changes. And it's also
That's
weird because it
wild.
only shows episodes from season 1 and 2, and they're told completely out of order.
Yeah, I remember that. It was really awkward. So instead of doing the da-na-na-na-na,
Yeah.
it would be like, it would be these little robotic parts would come and grab the frame of the screen and then
Yeah.
transition it over. It was unnecessary extra production.
It was
Oh my
quite
god,
ridiculous.
this kid's mullet is insane.
It's pretty great.
I see what you mean. Like, the Optimus does look computer generated. It's
Yeah, it
kind of
does.
uncanny.
It's getting late. Next episode, okay. We're going to pick back up on season 3. More Marissa Fairborn on the way, Ryan.
Yep.
It's the Killing Jar, if I recall correctly. It was one of my favorite episodes as a kid.
That's
So
ominous.
let's get out of here. Harper, Kit, what do you want to plug?
Wait,
Whoa,
real quick.
oh,
Before
sorry.
that, I had a question for each of you.
Mm-hmm.
Kit, you and I love horror movies.
Yeah.
Anything you've seen lately or watching or some favorites, anything like you want to talk, like I should watch? I'm not as versed in 2000s horror as you are, but
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would have to say, like, just sit down and watch the Saw franchise. If you let yourself just, like, not question it, suspend your disbelief, and just enjoy the weird camp nonsense of trying to string together all of these disparate things into this overly complex story and all these moving parts and all of these double crossings and triple crossings. It's truly beautiful.
okay.
I watched Saint Maud, which I really enjoyed. Like I said, I saw Crimes of the Future, which was certainly something. And
It was a movie that happened.
It was a movie that happened to me in a theater with, I think, 2 other people in it. And I recently picked up a DVD re-release of They Look Like People, which, if you've never seen it, I think is a really, really good movie.
Yep, I like it.
Yeah.
What my girlfriend and I, we both love horror movies, which is like, I don't know if I would say I don't know if I'm the type of person who would say it would be difficult to date someone who doesn't like horror movies, but I probably would be difficult.
Yeah.
But we watched this, I think it was 1990 movie called, it's on Tubi, I believe, called Evil Tunes.
Oh, Terror Tunes? Or Evil Tunes?
Evil
Okay.
Tunes. I'm almost positive because it's
Okay.
a very misleading title because there's one tune that shows up for like 3 minutes.
One lone evil tune.
But it's a very campy, meant to be silly movie, and it is. There are like 5 different main I think 4 or 5 different women that are the main characters. That their whole thing is just we got to take all our gear off all the time. We got to get these tits out.
How else do you fight the tune?
It's true.
Yeah, how else would you even do it? Christ.
So Harper, books. What are you reading now? What do you have any recommendations? I see a lot of posts where you're like, I'm reading this. I've been getting back into these books.
So I'm currently very intently procrastinating finishing off the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. And they are so fantastic and so well written, and they really earned. They won 3 back-to-back consecutive Hugo Awards
Oh wow.
for like a sci-fi novel. They're just so good. And I have 50 pages left in the 3rd one, and then I'm gonna be bereft. So definitely recommend them. Anything by N.K. Jemisin. She is fantastic. And then after that, I think I'm gonna read another Assassin's Creed book.
Cool.
And then probably pick up, I think I'm going to go chapter by chapter on medical apartheid, which is like a dissertation on racism in medical history.
So that's light.
I think I'm going to take it chapter by chapter.
Sure.
Or section by section,
Absolutely.
maybe.
Cool.
Because it is also, it's got like Bible weight pages. They are so thin and the text is tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Who wrote that one, or is it sort of an anthology, or what?
I want to say, I know her last name is Washington, and I want to say Harriet Washington, but let me fact check myself.
Is the book over by me?
No, it's in the room.
Okay. No, I do. I just want to read the stack of books Harper has on his desk.
It is Harriet Washington.
Okay.
He's got Plato, The Last Days of Socrates, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, the Orc Prince trilogy, This is not a book, but it is the complete first season of Supernatural on DVD.
This
that
is
I
an
picked up
eclectic
just for.
grouping.
Extreme North. Everyone on the moon is an essential personnel, and then lies my teacher told me.
Nice.
And then there's a jar of peanut butter next to it.
Sure.
I didn't realize that the Assassin's Creed had this whole literature side
Component.
to the saga.
Oh, there's a novelization of every single game. It's so weird.
Is it good?
guess
Is
I
it
read-
quality, or is it just like pure entertainment? How do you characterize this?
It's not bad. So I've only read 2 of them. One of them was written originally in Chinese and then translated, and I think the translation left a lot to be desired. And then the other one was just like a very basic, like blow by blow retelling of Assassin's Creed 2. And so it was fine. I mean, the story itself is solid, so like they have a lot to work with there, and it did pepper in some like fun details that you don't really get from the video game.
All right, I'll go with it. I've never played an Assassin's Creed game, but they always looked
you
like they were
should.
compelling.
Oh, they're so fun.
Play Odyssey.
Okay, is that a
I
newer
feel like
one?
Odyssey's Odyssey's the only one I've played hands on, but I also feel like it's the easiest one to get into without having to really know all the lore.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
And also, it's beautiful. It is, in my opinion, the most like visually compelling game, and the least buggy of the recent releases. Speaking as somebody who has watched Harper play a lot of Valhalla,
Is there anything you all want to shout out or plug before we let
Please.
you roll?
Oh God, I'm just working all these days, so
yeah, support your local
No.
union, donate to anti-racist and anti-fascist organizations. Be kind to each other. That's kind of all I really care about right now.
Well, I will then I'll plug on your behalf if to please listen to the back episodes, because I mean, honestly, it's such a fun, great time, and now that the competition is over between us, I'm just kidding.
We're burying the hatchet.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, go if you haven't, go check out More Than Meets the Pod. It's great. I really enjoy it.
And other than that, I guess I'll do the little rollout for us. If you want to support the show, check out our Patreon page. Plenty levels of support that come with various benefits. Patreon.com/APODcast. Or you can visit the APDC store, posters, stuff, buttons, whatever. Or you can buy us a drink.
Buy us a drink at APODcast on PayPal. Tell me what you want to drink, and I will make it $5, please.
Do the review thing, the star things, Apple Podcasts, check out the show, Google Play, Spotify, all that shit. But you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at APODcast. Thanks, everybody.
This was a good episode.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, thank you so much for having
Thanks
us.
for
This was
thanks
so
for
fun.
being
really
on.
fun.
I know
really
it.
appreciate
I know it got really long, so I appreciate the generosity of your time.
Absolutely.
What else are we doing? It's Sunday.
It's true.
I don't have a father.
That's what Aaron said earlier.
That's what I keep saying. Well, have a great Sunday, and hopefully we catch up soon. Let us know if you guys go to Chicago.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks
All
so
right,
much.
See you guys soon.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Cells is the sponsor of Autopod Decepticast. Yes, 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 yes.